Pasadena police officers who were working in full police uniform, firearms, patrol cars. She walks the shots to them, and they take shots. On duty in full police uniform. My insubordination was so egregious to where they needed me to be at home so I don't go out there and be insubordinate again. But you left cops who were drinking on the job. You left them out in the field to continue to work. A department can do you so wrong, but you'll turn around and you'll pray for them. You'll turn around, you'll pray for them, you'll pray for healing, you'll pray for their safety.
Welcome to After the Storm podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Patterson. I started this podcast for people that were forced to start over after going through something they didn't deserve. Each episode features someone who's been through a real storm. They share the honest and unfiltered truth about what it cost them, what helped them, and how they rebuilt their lives. Today we feature a former Pasadena police officer, Taisyn Crutchfield.
Hello.
Hi, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, I am so excited to hear your story, unfortunately, right? I mean, it's so nice to meet you, but unfortunately, people that come on here, we meet through trauma. I like to say we're trauma bonded.
Oh, 100%. You know what? Who are we going to make mad today?
Nobody. Well, just the demons.
You know.
No big deal.
The social media warriors.
Oh, yes, and that's going to come with the territory. I mean, you know, that's like the downside in starting something like this. We put ourselves out there. We have to expect people to run their mouths. It's their right. They have the freedom of speech. Run your mouth, but I'm going to clap back. Mm-hmm. And so are you.
And clock T.
So before we jump into like the storm, tell people who Taisyn is. Besides the event that led you here, like who is Taisyn?
Yeah, so my name is Taisyn. I graduated from UC Irvine. So I have my bachelor's and master's degree in criminology and law and society.
Oh, wow.
Have a minor in psychology and social behavior. I have my forensic specialist certificate.
Wow.
I'm in my doctorate program right now, so I'm getting my PhD in criminal justice, specifically in policing. After that, I think I'm gonna go to law school.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I think I want to represent police officers who have been done wrong by their departments.
Oh, wow, we have so much in common.
Girl. I mean, how could I not at this point?
No,
I'm going to give myself 5 more years. I'm going to finish my doctorate program, which I have about 2 more years in. And then law school is probably going to be about 3. And then that's it.
That's awesome. Yeah. So what made you want to keep pursuing your educational path as a doctorate?
I love education. I don't think you can ever go wrong with educating yourself, expanding your horizon when it comes to knowledge. And so I was like, I don't feel fulfilled with just getting my master's. Mm-hmm. If there's more out there, I have to go after it. Yeah. And so I was like, well, I'm going to find me a program since I do work full time. Mm-hmm. I'm still a police officer at a different department. But this department allows me to have time where I can study and do different things on my days off because I'm not getting ordered as much as my previous department. So I'm like, I'm going to find an online program and I'm going to go after it.
Yeah, that is amazing. And if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I am 30.
30? So you've done all of this stuff in 30 years.
Girl, dirty 30.
That's amazing. Truly, it's amazing because I stopped after my bachelor's and, you know, I hated school. I got my degree in chemistry, but I loved chemistry though. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm a math brain, but when it comes to that next step, I'll be honest with you, when they were like, you have to write these like long essays and all this stuff to get your master's, I'm like, pass, I'm good. I'm done. I've done my time.
All right. But that's good. Oh my God.
But it's funny because like you, I've been done dirty by the system, and it made me really not like lawyers, right? And I'm sure you had that same experience, and it motivated me to go to law school. So now I'm in my first year of law school, which is like right, like I said, I didn't want to do my master's program
Right.
because of all the writing, and law
And here you
school
are.
is literally
Nothing but writing.
nothing but writing.
And case law.
In case law. And I will, like, I mean, after the first semester, I was like, I don't know if I can do this.
Yeah.
But everybody tells you that first year is the hardest year because you're learning a different language. I would read a case law like 5 times, and I have no idea what I read. So, I mean, good for you. I think that that's a really good decision on your end because you are studious. You do enjoy it. For me, it's like I have 4 kids. I am team mom of 2 different, teams. I have a blended family. We have a very busy lifestyle. I, do real estate. I do security. I do this. I do,
We love that for you.
all the things, right? And so it's like squeezing all these little pieces of time into law school is very challenging. And I literally told my husband today, I go, like I have an essay that's like it was due last Tuesday. And if it's not done by like Sunday, I'm going to get a late penalty. And I told him, have you seen that movie Office Space?
Girl.
No or yes?
I have.
You have?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember there was a point where the whole movie, like he gets hypnotized and he just doesn't care anymore.
No. You get jaded.
Yeah. And I was like, I told my husband today, I'm like, I feel like I'm
At that point.
like I feel like I was hypnotized and I just.
Well, you've been carrying so much weight
Yeah.
of different things too.
Right. It's crazy.
Trauma is like real.
Mm-hmm.
So you're carrying that on top of everything else you're trying to manage and balance.
Yeah. It's like at a point you just detach and disassociate from the chaos going around. You're like, okay, what's the worst that's going to happen at this point?
Right. I've been through it. What's next?
Yeah, exactly. Which brings me to our next point. So you wanted to be a police officer. Have you always wanted to be a police officer?
I have. So there is this case. I don't know if you remember it, but her name was Norma Lopez. And she was a girl who came up missing in Moreno Valley. And about 5 days later, they found her body in Moreno Valley. This case was huge. It was all on Nancy Grace. And I think I was like 12 at the time. And I was so interested, not only because it was a female that came up missing, but this was something that happened in my own city. And so I remember I was like, we need to find her. Like I was telling my mom, I'm like, we need to find her. And I'm like, okay, let's backtrack. She came up missing walking home from school. I wonder if the detectives are doing this and the officers are doing that. And I've been watching Criminal Minds and this. And so as a younger child, I knew this was the route I wanted to take. Not really the police avenue. FBI was my thing. But everyone told me, don't go FBI route. You're going to be making less money than if you just stay in California and become a police officer. Girl, I should have went FBI route. I mean.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Like, I wish I would have just did it. And it's not too late, but do I really want to take a $30,000 pay cut to go back to the FBI Academy and start all over? And then have to worry about being placed in Puerto Rico, So,
Yeah, that
and
is.
it was hard because I was like, dang, I should have just followed my instinct. But I had so many mentors who were just like, stay in California, and you this is the one that got me, you'll move up so fast, you have degrees.
Yeah.
Girl.
Like, okay. Well, it's funny because if you had a crystal ball, right, we could go back in time and change things based on what we know now. We'd have a totally different outcome. But I'm a huge believer everything happens for a reason, and I'm sure you are too.
Yeah.
There, even the bad.
Yeah.
Especially the bad, actually. It's like, you don't know what you were saved from. So, who knows? Maybe that is something you could do later in life. But right now, your calling is to stay here. And, like you said, like what drew you to like the investigative side was somebody in your own community. And so it's like maybe that's what your purpose is, to make a difference in your own community.
100%.
So that's not a bad
The detective route was really what I want to do. Right. Specifically at Pasadena, they had a robbery homicide unit. So I was just like, okay, I'm going to, work patrol, learn the streets, and I'm going to climb my way up, because that was the ultimate goal, because someone who was killed in my community is the exact route I want to take when it comes to investigating. I want to bring families justice. I need to know the why. I need to interrogate the suspect. That's just my cup of tea.
Right. And
they stripped it from me.
Oh gosh, and we're going to definitely get into that. So what year did you apply? When did that all start? So you finished schooling first, right?
So
you finished your master's.
I started off at Laguna Beach Police Department. I was actually a cadet there. And then when I was working at UC Irvine, I worked really close with UC Irvine PD. So one of my favorite sergeants all time, he retired. He was my mentor. And so, you know, he was guiding me throughout this process. And I remember I was just like, I'm not getting picked up by anywhere. I'm being non-selected. I remember I had one background investigator call me. He was like, you're going to do amazing in law enforcement. You know, you're a wonderful person. You're going to do so great, but we're just not going to move forward with you. And I'm like, well, how do you just say I'm like a golden child, but then, no, we're not going to select you. So it was hard. I'm not going to lie. Like, being hired on was difficult. And everyone told me, like, hey, it's part of the process. You're going to get some no's before you get a yes. And I remember, even as a cadet, Laguna Beach PD, I applied to be a police officer, and they were just like, no, not right now. And I'm like, y'all, I have a master's degree, and I'm a cadet, and I'm getting paid $14 an hour. Like, I need to get going in life. And so I love that department so much. Like, everyone there was wonderful, but eventually I did move on to Pasadena because they did ultimately hire me.
Yeah. Did they give you a reason at the time as to like what it was? Was it you were too young? I mean,
it was just, you know what they told me? It was like, you need more life experience.
So yeah. Okay, that's kind of
and I'm like, how do you get life experience without getting experience?
Yeah.
Like, give me the life experience. Let me like learn the role, you know? It's always life experience. And I'm like, well, dang, with what I've been through, I guess this is what you call life experience, huh?
Here you go.
Here we are.
You can't reject me for life experience anymore.
Girl.
Yeah.
If this is what life experience was, then
yeah.
hello.
Oh my gosh. So you get hired by Pasadena, and you're like, okay, awesome, here we go. And so they don't have their own academy, right? They
don't have their own academy.
Okay.
Pasadena is home for me. I'm born and raised in that city. Okay. So when I got hired by the chief at the time, I was like, okay, like I'm gonna live out my dream. Like, it was a goal for me to give back to my community.
It's like a full circle moment.
Yeah. And so I was like, well, of course this is gonna align. Like, I'm going to go back to the city that raised me. And so the chief at the time, he called me. He was like, I need you here. You know, I'm looking for community oriented people who grew up in the city. He's like, those are the type of officers I want. People who can relate with the community. And I'm like, sir, I'm your girl. I'm your girl. I walk down the street. People know me. They know me because of my family. My parents went to John Muir High School. So they're like Pasadena legends. So I'm like, this is it.
Yeah.
Here we are.
This is home. Okay, so you get hired, super excited, probably like one of the best days of your life, because I remember that phone call too.
Girl.
When you get hired and it's like, oh my gosh, I did it. I got hired. Your academy date is, you know, January 31st, 2011. You know, I'll never forget that date.
Yeah.
So LAPD has their own academy. You know, we start at the academy, you know, Elysian Park.
Yeah.
Where does Pasadena, since they don't have one?
So we do a pre-academy.
Okay.
So I think I did the pre-academy for like a month.
Okay.
And then that was, you know, you had...
Is that in Pasadena?
Okay. You had in-house people. So it was a sergeant and an officer. We're going to refer to him as Officer G.
Okay.
And Sergeant G. Okay. Those two were in charge of us in the pre-academy. And then we go to the academy about a month later, which is at Star Center in Whittier. It's Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. So they send us to their academy for 5.5 months. And then once you pass the academy, you go back to Pasadena and you start your field training.
Got it. Okay. So you go over to the Star Center and you start your academy. So what was the academy like? I mean, it's, you know, the academy is already hard as it is, right? You have to be there at, you know, the crack of dawn. You have to, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, you know, all the things. I mean, the academy isn't a breeze.
Yeah,
but.
So I'm going to backtrack a little bit. When I was doing the pre-academy, I had just came off of having COVID. Now, I'm asthmatic, and I wasn't asthmatic to the point where I couldn't do the job. I wasn't chronic asthmatic, but certain things would flare me up. And overcoming a cold was one of them. Majority of the time when I get sick, it's going to turn into bronchitis. It's going to affect my lungs. Well, COVID was a monster for me to the point, like, I was constantly at the hospital getting antibiotics, getting steroids, because The lungs were lunging, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so getting over COVID, trying to get in shape for the pre-academy. And during the pre-academy, I was being told, I wasn't going to make it. I'm going to have a hard time. My running sucks. Now, mind you, I'm a national champion in the 100-meter dash. I ran track my whole life.
Oh, wow.
So
That's
don't
impressive.
tell me that running is not my cup of tea. Am I a distance runner? No, I'm a sprinter. But don't sit here and say I can't run, because I have the receipts to prove that I could run.
Yeah.
Okay? So I go to the academy. The academy, it was tough. It was tough because I was fighting challenges that I didn't even know I had to fight. I was fighting battles that was far beyond what an original recruit is gonna battle.
Right.
So
Like it wasn't just the, the assignments, the running, it was something more than
yeah, and so day one, I was class sergeant, and I'm like, cool, let's go. Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to be the one to stand out. I mean, I was the only African American in my class. We had one more girl. She was half, but her dad was the lieutenant in the sheriff's department.
Okay.
So, you know how that goes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I know I'm going to stand out, not just because I'm a soup sandwich, but I mean, I can't get away with other things. I mean, I stand out, right? And so day one, yeah, class sergeant, first class sergeant. And you know what they say, if you're class sergeant day one, that means they're trying to wash you out.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm like, all right, well, here we go. And so I have no prior law enforcement in my family. No one in my immediate family is law enforcement. I had a cousin who was CHP, but no one prepared me really to what to expect in the academy.
Yeah.
My academy mate, she had her husband who was a prior law enforcement officer with Pasadena Police. So, he was able to tell her like, hey, make sure you do this, and you're going to need to clean your gun. Or he would even help her clean her gun,
right.
shine your boots. I didn't have that. My family doesn't even know what shining boots is. You get me?
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like everything I had to do was by myself, and I'm like, okay, this is a learning curve for me, but I'm going to overcome it. Well, there was this one specific drill instructor. Deputy M was what we refer him to. Girl, on me tough. Like, and I've been coached in track. I've had hardcore coaches. But it was like, at some point, I think it was like month 3. I'm like, okay, something's not right.
On? Like, what is going on here?
Like, there's stuff that other people can do in the academy that if I do it, oh my God, the whole class is paying. Or we all might be doing something wrong, but guess whose fault it is?
Yeah, it's always
Taisyn's.
yours.
Yeah, it's Crutchfield. So at first I was just like, okay, maybe this is just normal. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like I said, come on 3 or 4 when they're starting to ease off on you, I wasn't.
Nobody eased.
No.
Just kept going.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And so I remember, and it's funny because if you go on my Instagram, I actually posted what Pasadena gave me in my performance improvement plan versus my probation eval, and we'll get there. But I remember I needed to take my inhaler. And the staff had said, if there's anything medical wise, let us know, because liability purpose.
Right.
So I needed to take my inhaler. I was having a flare up. And I know people are going to say, well, you shouldn't have been a cop. You have asthma. Come on. People have different type of medical stuff. You cannot not hire people because of medical, as long as I can control it.
Right.
But to control it, I need my inhaler.
Yeah.
So I remember I was wheezing really bad, and I said, sir, recruit Crutchfield asking for permission to speak, sir. Go ahead, sir, I need to take my inhaler. No.
They just denied you
And I'm
medication.
like, what do you mean, no? Like, I need my inhaler. And so I said, like, sir, I need to take my inhaler. No. I'm like, sir, I'm going to take my inhaler. And I pulled out my inhaler and I took it. And that's what was talking back. Yeah.
To take your medication?
Yeah.
That they told you that you needed to
Did you want
ask
me to
permission for?
have an asthma attack and then
Call
possibly,
the ambulance?
Yeah.
Maybe they did want that.
Yeah, well, from what I found out was he was trying to get me out of there anyways. This is the same drill instructor that told me I was going to end up on the memorial wall.
And what was his reasoning behind that?
Oh, well,
That you
because
were-
he said because I was a piece of shit.
And that you were going to end up dead.
Yeah. I'm going to end up dead. I'm going to get people injured. I'm going to get people killed. Are you trying to say because of officer safety wise? My officer safety is fine throughout the academy. It's no better than everybody else's. We're
Yeah.
all recruits, right?
Yeah, we're all learning.
We're all learning. I mean, to tell someone straight up, like, do you see that memorial wall over there? You're going to end up on it.
To try to scare you, to try to get you to quit.
I guess so.
Wow. That's terrible.
And I'm like,
And nobody else had that same
the
treatment.
power of the tongue, though. Be careful because you also are still sworn.
Yeah. Yeah, be careful what you wish for. You know what I mean? And that's like what people don't understand is that, I talked about this before, but you know, the power of words is important. What you say, you can't take back.
Right.
And words can be worse than like physical abuse sometimes. You know, somebody like punches you in the face, yeah, I'm going to recover and it's going to go away and I'm going to get better.
Right.
But sometimes those words, like they imprint on your heart forever. I mean,
Oh,
you're
I'm
never going to forget that.
I'm never going to forget that.
Never. And it's like, imagine like being a recruit. This is all you want to do. You want to make it through. You're trying so hard and someone's telling you that you're going to end up dead.
Yeah. Well, then it kind of got to the point where I'm like, are you going to have me killed?
Yeah.
Because I know you have the power to, I mean, you're carrying a firearm right now. I mean, we run outside of, you know, the academy grounds. Like, it got to the point where it's like, why are you saying I'm going to end up on the memorial wall? Like,
Yeah.
and you know, you hear those horror stories where like the department comes after you or they set you up to get killed. I mean, even one of the guys that spoke at one of my press conferences, he said like, you know, the same department, Pasadena, like sent people to try to like hurt him. And he's been like hiding since. Like he doesn't even show face in the city. So it's at the point where it was just like,
Like anything's possible.
Like,
at
are
this
you
point.
putting a hit on me?
Yeah, that's sketchy.
All to find out later on, like, his goal was to get me to quit. And that's because during my pre-academy, his friend was Officer G. They were in the Marines together.
Oh.
So Officer G didn't like me and told Deputy M to make sure I didn't pass the academy.
And you didn't know any of this.
I didn't know
Academy.
any of this
So
until
you're just
3
like, I have no
years.
idea why this person is coming after me so hard and nobody else.
Yeah.
Just me. And then later you find out that
And
it's
later
because
on, 3 years
they
later.
were like this. 3 years later.
3 years later.
3 years later. So this whole time you're like, I have no idea what I did to this person.
And then the crazy part is the person who ended up telling my attorney all of this, his wife was the one that was in the academy, the one I was saying, you know, he was helping her shine the boots and everything. It was his wife. She was my academy mate. So we went to the academy together. Well, Officer G, the Pasadena pre-academy guy, happened to be texting her, you know, he didn't like me, you know, 10:35, but this is Taisyn, and showed a picture of his black dog who happens to be named Taisyn.
Stop.
And so
Wait, real quick, what is 1035?
confidential.
Confidential.
I have something confidential to tell you.
Okay, got it.
So what is so confidential that you have to say 10:35 to show a picture of your dog and then follow up with this is Taisyn?
Wow.
Yeah.
Literally referred to you as a black dog.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
And that's somebody that is employed currently
Currently employed.
by Pasadena.
Yeah. In fact, about a year ago, he got caught using steroids at the department. They found a vial in the gym, and it was only him and one other female in the gym. Female's not doing steroids.
Right.
I mean, just by, I'm not trying to be mean, but just by the physique. Like,
Yeah.
she wasn't using any type of steroid.
I feel like there would be
so
evidence.
process of elimination, it was his.
Yeah.
And he was IA'd for it, and now he is a corporal and still employed.
Wow. And a corporal is equivalent to an FTO, correct?
In a supervisor position.
Got it. Okay. Very different than LAPD. Like LAPD doesn't have 10 codes and they
Yeah.
don't have like they have P3 is an
Yeah.
FTO. So just clarifying that
Yeah.
stuff. But
So it's literally, a corporal is literally right under a sergeant.
got it.
So you have a supervisor position, same person, same corporal who also had some sexual harassment allegations toward him. You know, he was messing around with some of the PAL. There's this police activity leadership children that come, and he was messing around with them, and
Oh my God. Isn't it so crazy? And I have these conversations with people that have lost their jobs and stuff. And it's so crazy the people that get to wear the badge and the ones that have it taken away from them. You have these people that have no moral compass.
No.
And I think like there was that comment that somebody just made on your post. It was some troll that whatever was saying that women don't.
I love burner accounts.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. It's like women don't belong in law enforcement is what he said, right? Like, oh, I'm sorry, but whatever he said. And it's like, it's so funny. So the only requirement in your eyes is that you have to have a penis, right?
Oh, 100%.
That's who gets to be a cop. And don't get me wrong. Does everybody deserve to be a cop? No.
Right.
Not all women should be cops.
Right.
And not all men should be cops.
Absolutely.
But if you're going to have the standard whether or not you have a penis, like that is insane. Because I know a lot of these people with penises, men, that are not the best.
All the trash talking under my photos and profile and TikToks and stuff are men.
Of course. Because of course it is. I mean, they're intimidated because think about the men that are the good ones, right? Like they don't go on there and trash people. If anything, they support you and uplift you. It's like, I got your back, girl. Because those are the people that deserve to be on the job. And it's not just whether or not you're a man or a woman. Not all women should be cops. 100%. I agree with that. Not all men should be cops either. I mean,
but the women who pass the police officer standards training, go through the academy, you pass the academy, you pass probation, you pass training, but you still shouldn't be a cop.
Yeah. It's like
but I done did everything to pass.
Yeah, I've done everything.
Yeah.
I've worked my butt off. I've tried really hard. It doesn't matter if you're a top shot, if you're a jiu-jitsu black belt, it doesn't matter. You're just a female.
Girl.
You don't belong on the job. So you know what? Let them have their opinions, and it is what it is. But if you're going to use that as a standard, I think that's like the inappropriate way, because you have these men that have really low moral standards.
Of course.
People in general that have low moral standards, why did they get to wear the badge?
Right.
And someone that has a high moral standard, that has their faith in God, they center their life around God and want to be as close to Christ as we can and go and do his work and serve our community and bring people closer to him. We don't get to be cops.
No.
Thankfully for you, you have a job as an officer still. Some of us don't, you know what I mean? And it's like when you sit there and see the people that get to make these decisions, be supervisors, get promoted and keep climbing, I'm just blown away.
Sometimes it got to the point where I was like, is God real?
Yeah, and that's a valid, I've been there too, where it's like you sit there and you kind of question your faith a little bit, and it's like, why is this happening? But then you quickly remind yourself that this is happening because maybe I have strayed from God. Right. And that was kind of, at least for me, that was a realization where it was like, why is this all happening? And then I remembered, immediately I went to God. I said, God, like, why are you doing this to me? And it's like, wait. Now I'm looking at it in God's eyes, like, wait, you're mad at me for doing something to you, but where have you been, girlfriend? Like, you haven't been here. You haven't talked to me.
Well, then it was like, am I getting punished for something that I did? Mm-hmm. Like, it was like, girl, start thinking about what you did to somebody.
Yeah.
Because then you start thinking, like, is this karma?
Yeah. but I don't really believe in karma. What I believe is in God.
Yeah.
Right? I believe in the Holy Spirit. And I believe that, we are going to make mistakes. That's why Jesus died for us. Especially, it's Holy Week this week. Tomorrow's Good Friday. It's a very special week. And it helps us reflect on the fact that Jesus came down as a mortal man. God came down as a mortal man and experienced pain and suffering and died for us because he knew we were going to sin.
Exactly.
So, yes, do we make mistakes? Of course we do. Mm-hmm. We've done things that we wish we could go back and be like, man, I wish.
We're not perfect human beings.
No.
And I recently posted what Pasadena did to me when they put me on a performance improvement plan. They went so far as to put like what I did back in college. And so I altered my handicap placard. I had a valid one. I was too lazy. I had just came off recovering from a massive knee surgery. Literally had to take bone from my hip and put it in my knee. So I was legit handicapped. But my temporary one had expired. And I was too lazy to go to DMV to go get...
Well, it sucks. That place sucks.
Yeah. Too lazy to go to the DMV to get my new one. I literally had the paperwork. I had the documentation. Just refused to go to the DMV. Mm-hmm. So I altered my handicap placard. So stupid, right? I'm in college though. I'm
You're
dumb.
in your like early
I'm
20s.
naive. I'm stupid. We all do stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Right? It's part of life. It's part of growing up. Altered it to make it look valid. The parking people came. They saw it. And I had left my dog outside. And I was like, have the police respond to my house. I'll meet them there. But I have to put my dog back in the house. My roommate wasn't there. And my dog was a puppy. So I couldn't have my dog run away. So the police meet me at my apartment and they gave me a citation. Long story short, I end up fighting it. I end up getting it dismissed. But it's on my, it's on my background. I have to admit to it when I apply to jobs. I mean, I can't lie and say it didn't happen when there's a police report on it.
Yeah.
Case is dismissed, literally in my background. That's literally like the only thing in my background. The only thing. God forbid you altered your handicap placard.
Oh my gosh, but it was dismissed
You're
because
the
you
worst.
had a legit.
You're the worst person in America.
Yeah. And but so you weren't even on the job then.
Girl, I was in college.
Why would they put that
They
on?
put that on my performance improvement plan when they were justifying why.
But they hired you. So that's another part where I don't understand. It's like they knew all this about you and they hired you. So if they had an issue with it then they should have not hired you.
Yeah, well, the crazy part is when they did the performance improvement plan, it was dated the same day they let me get off probation with a positive probation eval. So my probation eval said I made really good decisions. Dated the same exact date as soon as I signed the probation eval, I handed it over to the FTO coordinators, and then the lieutenant and the commander walk in and they're like, congrats on getting off probation, but now we're putting you on a performance improvement plan. And then the performance improvement plan said I didn't make good decisions. So one document said I did make good decisions and the other one said I didn't. So which one is it?
What was the reason for that? Did they explain that?
They said, what I did back in college. The decisions I made in college weren't good decisions. I altered my handicap placard. They used the whole internal affairs investigation in the PIP. But later on, I was found not guilty of any of the allegations. So how is that something you can put in the PIP? It had no merit at the point if I wasn't found guilty. They put that in the PIP. They put another call me and my partner responded to. The call came out as a 5150, but I guess the boyfriend had told my partner that she was kicking him. I wasn't there when he was interviewing her. I was too focused on her and making sure she wasn't going to OD. So they tried to say we didn't take a domestic violence report. So they just started putting all this stuff in the PIP. Now, mind you, I was on probation for 18 months. If I had training issues or decision-making issues, how come none of this was brought to me?
Ever. Like it was never brought up to you.
It was never documented in any of my other evaluations that, I may need to be extended on training or probation for decision-making.
So is 18 months the standard or is 18 months with an extension?
The 18 months is the standard. So as soon as you're, in field training, that's your 18-month clock.
Got it. Okay.
So this whole time, I've been LCAR status, which is solo unit. No one ever told me that everything that they put in my PIP was an issue until I finally hit them with a lawsuit.
Oh, that's what triggered it.
Yeah.
Okay. So then now let's get into like what happened. So we have all the background, right? So they obviously, someone didn't like you, Officer and Sergeant G, and they tried to get you out, didn't work. And how crazy is it to think that even like the academy, as hard as it is, right? Especially the Sheriff's Academy, LAPD Academy, I mean, I'm not going to talk too much crap, but like, it's not that hard.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. But the Sheriff's Academy, like the Orange County, San Bernardino, LA, those are hard academies, much significantly harder. So you already had an uphill battle. You're a female, African American, going into the academy, kind of younger, right?
Yeah.
And you had all the cards stacked against you. And then you throw in this little wrench of like, well, I'm also going to come after you. And you still made it. You still graduated.
I know.
And then you get this, your dream job, essentially. Yeah. And you make it through probation, and now here we are.
Yeah.
So what happened? What happened?
I love this question. So February 2023, February 20th going into the 21st. It was about 3 a.m. and there was an officer who on viewed a 415, which is a disturbance call. Now, no one called. There was no, reporting party, person reporting. There was none of that. He just saw two black males on the street arguing with each other. Well, these two men, young men, happened to be the sons of Charles Towns. Charles Towns was killed about a month prior to my incident by the Pasadena sheriffs. And I believe their family actually recently reached a settlement with the Pasadena sheriffs, like $5 million. I think they shot him maybe like 20 times.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't a good shooting.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know the full source on it. I think there was a call of him stabbing someone. I'm not too sure. There was a shooting. As far as was it justified or unjustified, I don't know. All I know is the family settled. So something happened.
Something happened.
I
mean, maybe they just settled because it was easier. So I don't know the details of it. So I mean, I'm not going to judge.
Yeah. Something happened. I think 20 rounds, maybe a little.
Yeah. Maybe it was just like the shooting was probably justified, but
a little excessive.
Yeah, a little excessive. Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. So
but he was killed. So their dad was killed.
Their dad was killed. So when that happened, that was January. When that happened, they responded to that scene and they saw their dad deceased on the ground. Mm-hmm. And so Pasadena PD is mutual aid with LA County sheriffs, and that's Pasadena sheriff's jurisdiction. So they responded mutual aid because it started a large crowd, the chaotic scene of a shooting, especially an officer-involved shooting. Mm-hmm. And so Officer P, he responds to the shooting as a Pasadena police officer, as mutual aid, and he has a run-in with the family. And from what I told and from what I read in lawsuits is that it actually was an Pasadena sheriff deputy, who actually told him, hey, leave, like, you're making things worse.
Yeah.
Escalating.
Right.
And so he leaves the scene. That's what happened. But come February 20th, 21st, my incident, the two sons are outside at 3 a.m. because they're emotional. The DA's office had just released the body-worn camera of the OIS. Mm-hmm. So now they're outside, they're crying, they're upset, reasonably so. I mean, you just saw your dad get killed on body-worn camera. So the officer, he sees the two boys outside, and he's like, hey, show me out on a 415, a disturbance call. But because of all the background noise, we didn't know if he was in the 415, like if he was actively fighting. We didn't know what was going on. It was just kind of muffled.
Yeah.
And so, training and experience, that's going to perk your ears up.
It's like a backup.
Yeah, what's going on? And so supervisor authorized us to go code 3, lights and sirens, to get there. Well, me and my partner, we were working out of a substation. Pasadena has about 3 or 4 substations. So they have the main station, and then they have substations throughout the city. So where this incident is actually taking place is near the main station, literally down the street.
Yeah.
And so officers got there quick. Officer P actually ran from the station to the scene on foot. Mm-hmm. And so me and my partner, we're coming from the substation. So we get there kind of late because of the distance of everybody else's response.
Yeah.
And so when I get there, I see all the cars. You know how code 3 responses are. They're parked all crazy. And so I'm like, I think they got it, Let me just move the cars out the way so we don't have a traffic hazard backed up. And so I take it upon myself, and I'm just moving the cars out of the way. No requirement for my body-worn camera to be activated for that. Mm-hmm. And so once I'm done with that, I'm like, okay, let me, see if anyone needs help. So I see the two sons, Charlestown sons. I see them detained in the back of the police car, separated. And so I'm like, okay, they have 2 detained, whatever. And as I'm approaching the scene, I'm hearing this commotion from their mother. And I can tell she's upset. And I'm like, something transpired because she is upset. And I can hear her say, you know, this officer shouldn't be on the streets. He's too aggressive. And I'm like, oof, something must have happened.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I'm still trying to figure out. And then that's when Officer P responds, well, you shouldn't have been aggressive with my officers. And so I'm like, all right, what we don't need is an arguing match. What we don't need is this hostile environment to now escalate. And so I'm like, you know what? Let me look out for my partner. You know, something happened. Emotions are high. Let me get him away from the scene. And so I go up to him and I'm like, hey, you know, let's go over there. Like, why are you arguing back and forth with her? Yeah. I was like, she's handcuffed. Why are you arguing back and forth with her?
Yeah, let it go.
And, you know, we go through a 5.5 month of training where we're getting yelled at. You don't take the bait.
Yeah.
Right?
Let it go. In one ear, out the other.
Yeah. Like,
Who
you
cares?
don't have to mouth back. You know, just...
Even if she's saying the worst things ever, who cares?
Yeah, don't talk back. Like, we're the professionals, right?
Right.
And so I'm like, hey, like, go over there. Like, come on. Like, trying to guide him away. So just trying to de-escalate. And he puts his hand on my vest and he's like, don't do that. Like, pushing me back. And I'm like, come on, like, go over there. Like, come on, like, walk away. Like, just walk away.
Yeah.
Well, I get called out by supervision. Now, mind you, supervisors are there watching this whole thing happen. No one decides, like, dude, go over there. Like, you know, no one tries to de-escalate. Mm-hmm. And so I'm the one that's Crutchfield, you go over there. You go over there.
Like you
it's
and
like,
Officer P.
Yeah.
Like they were separating you two.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I'm just like, all right, like, you know, really what I'm trying to prevent after figuring out, like, who was who on the scene, I'm trying to prevent us from being in a lawsuit.
Yeah.
I'm trying to prevent us in my department from being tied up in a lawsuit, which down the road, they ended up being in a lawsuit from this exact situation. So, and we'll get back to the scene. What I later found out is that when Officer P ran from the station to the scene, he arrives on scene, walks up to the brother, doesn't ask, hey, what's going on? What do we have? Just walks up to the brother, grabs him, puts his face in cactus, and this is all in the lawsuit by their attorney. Puts his face on the cactus, turns around, has his hand on his neck, on one of the boys' necks. So I see now I see why the mom's upset.
Yeah.
Because you kind of just came on scene hot.
Yeah.
There was 2 other officers there prior to your arrival who literally didn't go hands-on, literally was just letting them yell. I mean, it's not a crime to yell.
Yeah.
Like, how many times did we get a call for a transient yelling?
All the time. You just like chirp at them like,
Yeah.
You guys good?
Yeah,
Cool.
exactly.
Bye.
So these 2 officers, you know, they don't really have the PC other than like maybe a 415, but then also like who's your caller for the 415? Who's your victim for the 415?
Yeah.
Right? And so they're
it's
just
risk versus reward. I mean,
Yeah.
that's like the constant balancing scale, right? It's like what are we going to get out of this?
Right.
What are we trying to prevent here? Them upset with each other?
Yeah, with each other.
With each other. The brothers.
Yeah.
Emotional.
Yeah.
Instead of stepping in and like guiding them like, is everything okay? Do you guys need something?
Now, they were upset to the point where they're like, you know, F you guys just killed my father. Like, they don't like the police, clearly.
Right. And many people
Clearly.
don't. Again,
right?
many people don't.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's just like, okay, like, that's part of the job.
Yeah.
So 2 other officers are just standing by, just letting them go. And then Officer P comes on scene hot, just go hands on. And that's what pisses the mother off.
Right.
So fast forward, when I get on scene, that's why she said, you know, this officer shouldn't be on the streets. He's too aggressive. So when Sergeant B, that's what we'll refer to him as, he's the supervisor on the scene. He's also the internal affairs supervisor that just happened to be working overtime that night. Backtrack, I was working overtime this night.
Yeah.
Okay, if you are watching, be careful when you sign up for overtime because you just may not know when that shift is going to end up in a lawsuit.
Gosh.
Okay.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So
The number of days I wish I would have called in sick.
Right.
Trust me, I'm like, man, I should have just not come to work that day.
So Sergeant B, who happens to be the IA supervisor, sergeant, tells me, split us up, and then, go back to the station. So I'm like, okay, cool. We're gonna go back to the station that we were working out of, because when you tell me to go back somewhere, I'm gonna go back to where I came from. Unless you say, hey, meet me here, I want to talk to you. It was never that sort of direction. It was, hey, go back to the station. All right, cool. I also am aware that supervision is in the main station looking at the board of where every officer is at. So it was stated on the board that we were at the substation. Mm-hmm. So when you say go back to station, I'm thinking like, okay, like go back to where you were, like go back to working,
Yeah.
Some people say like okay, back 10-8.
Yeah.
And so me and my partner, and I was passenger the whole time. I was A-car that night. A-car means two partner. Mm-hmm. My coworker was the driver. So we go back to the substation. And because, that's where we were the whole night.
Yeah.
And there was also another corporal there at this substation with us. We'll refer to him as Corporal L. He was there with us. And so when we returned, so he saw us leave Code 3 to the scene, and then he saw us come back. And so I had told him, I was like, sir, I don't like the way Sergeant B, chirped at me. He kind of was disrespectful on the scene. I don't know if he thought, I was trying to create animosity with Officer P, but, I don't I didn't like how he handled that. It was almost like I was getting reprimanded for trying to do the right thing. And so Corporal L was, at the time, Corporal L, and we'll get back to that too. Corporal L was like, do you think this? Just trying to pick my brain. And as we're talking, Sergeant B now goes over the air and goes, Crutchfield, 1019 station. 1019 is return to the station. Or he goes, Crutchfield, 1019 sergeant's office.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm like,
oh, shit.
I'm like, okay, I'm in trouble. And so when Corporal L heard this, he's like, hey, I don't know what happened out there. I didn't respond, but make sure you know your rights. You have pole bar rights. Mm-hmm. And so when you go there, ask him if this is something that you're going to need a rep for.
Smart. It's great advice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so me as a probationer, because I'm a probationer at this time, this is February, I wasn't going to get off probation till May. I was so close from getting off probation. And so I'm like, oh my God, I'm, as a new officer, oh my God, what?
Yeah, it's scary.
And then I'm like, dang, he called me by my last name over the radio. All these officers are gonna know, I'm in trouble. This is why we have call signs, but you single me out over the radio. And so I go back to the main station, because that's where the sergeant's office is. And as I'm walking in, I see him, he's sitting down. And he's giving me this look. I could just tell he's so disgusted with me. And so I walk in, I'm like, hi, sir. And he's like, close the door. And I'm like, it's just him in here. There's no other supervisor. There's no other witnesses in here. I don't know about that. And he's like, close the door. So I slowly close the door. And I'm like, is this something I'm going to need a rep for? Straight up took the advice from the corporals. Is this something I'm going to need a rep for? And he just gives me this look, and I remember he had a pen, and he was just twirling the pen, and he's like, why would you need a rep for this? And this is the IA sergeant, okay? Yeah. And I'm like, well, I don't know if I'm going to be in trouble. I don't know what happened. I don't know. You kind of yelled at me out there. He goes, get out. And I'm like, excuse me? He's like, get out. And I'm like, okay. And so I exit the sergeant's office. As I am exiting, this man, and he's a tall guy, he is behind, I can feel him behind me, and he goes, matter of fact, where are you coming from? And I'm like, where am I coming from? He's like, yep. I'm like, the substation. He goes, perfect. And so
see,
I was born a day, but I wasn't born yesterday.
Yeah. But see, right there, that's a question. That's an accusatory question. And it's like, I just asked you if I needed a rep.
You just violated my rights. So I was like, in my head, I'm thinking, wait, I just asked you if I needed a rep. You said you didn't answer me, but then
you told me to get out.
You told me to get out, but then you continued to question me, and so I was like, he just violated my rights. And then I knew, I'm like, he's gonna say like I didn't follow directions or I was insubordinate. Like he's gonna write me up and he's gonna say like I did not,
because I saw the writing on the wall. Yeah, you're like, I'm not done.
And so I
have a master's degree and I'm working on my doctorate.
Girl, and that's why it's just like sometimes you think about these people in a position of power, you're like, how did you get this position? Because baby, the knowledge is like lacking,
and it's blatant.
Yeah,
very blatant, which is like so scary.
Yeah. So that is in February. Okay. Nothing happens. I hear from no one. But that same day, I did reach out to one of my reps, and I said, my rep and my immediate supervisor, because remember, it's on overtime.
Yeah.
So I reached out to my immediate supervisor. This is literally the next day. I think it was like 5 p.m. because it was night watch. So yeah, graveyard. So when I woke up, because I went home, I was like, let me think about this. Maybe emotions were just high. But I woke up at like 5 p.m. and I'm like, nah, that wasn't cool.
Yeah.
Like the whole...
Something's not sitting right with you. Mm-hmm.
So I reached out to my rep, who then told me, email your immediate supervisor and let him know you want to file a complaint on the sergeant. And so I'm like, all right. So here it is. This starts the paper trail.
Yeah.
And so I told my immediate sergeant, I'm like, hi, like I want to, formally do a complaint on Sergeant B. He disrespected me, blah, 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 blah. So then I didn't hear anything from anyone until my next shift, which was about, I think that incident happened Sunday going into Monday. So about Thursday, when I went back into my shift, I actually spoke to my supervisor and I just told him everything. And he recorded, me doing the complaint on his body-worn camera, just for documentation purposes. Mm-hmm. And then, I gave him my handwritten complaint. Boom, my complaint generated. Mm-hmm. The IA lieutenant at the time is a black female. Okay. I knew, something told me like she's gonna know about it. This sergeant is an IA. All of IA is gonna know about the incident. Yeah. Well, come to find out, she didn't know anything. Oh. She didn't know anything. So this is how petty and sneaky they are. They waited for her to leave because she was rotating out literally like the next week or two.
Oh, wow.
They waited for her to leave because they knew that she doesn't play games.
Yeah.
Like, I actually have been referred to as number 2. Like, I'm her little number 2.
Oh. Yeah. So they were like, she's going to make this go away.
Yeah, exactly. Or just be fair.
Yeah, right.
Just be fair.
Be fair.
And so they didn't report it to her. They waited till she got rotated out. And then when the incoming lieutenant came in is when the sergeant decides to submit his complaint on me. Mm. So they literally delayed it because they knew she probably would be fair and be like, this is something we need to just handle in-house. On the patrol. Yeah, on the patrol level, there's no need to be an IA. But they waited for her to leave, and then that's when he submitted. But when he submitted his complaint, it was dated the date of the incident. So you predated a complaint you didn't even submit that day. But okay.
And how long had it been? What was the date of
it? Was like, the date he put on there was like February 21st. But IA didn't receive that February 21st, or else she
would have had it.
She would have had it.
Yeah.
She never saw it.
Wow.
And she happens to be one of the plaintiffs that my attorney is representing now in another lawsuit. Oh. So she told it all. She's like, I never got this. So I know he didn't submit it on the date he put. Yeah. Or else it would have came to me.
Right.
I would have saw it.
Wow.
She never saw it. So he predated something, and we knew, we confirmed it because in his write-up, it was a bunch of fluff. It was a bunch of lies. Pretty much he tried to say that when I asked if I needed a rep, he said, excuse me. Just twisted everything. But to be expected, right?
Yeah.
But in one of the redacted, which I actually was able to get the original.
Yeah.
So I saw everyone's interview. I saw what everyone said.
Yeah.
And so when I saw the original version that wasn't redacted, he actually called Corporal L that was at the substation, but he called him like 3 days later to get his statement. But in the write-up, he had put that he had called him that night.
Oh.
So when Corporal L was IA interviewed, and this is when me and my attorney, we picked out the discrepancies. When he was IA interviewed, he had told IA like, oh, it wasn't until like 3 days later when Sergeant B called me to get my statement.
Yeah.
So how did you submit something February 21st, but
When you didn't even interview him?
You didn't even interview him until like February 24th. But you said you submitted it February 20. You post-dated or predated it.
Yeah.
And so now I'm like, he's trying to like predate something so it doesn't show that like he's retaliating on me for doing my complaint.
Yeah.
So all this happened in February. Silence, right? I knew he wrote me up, but I didn't hear anything.
Yeah.
So all of February goes by. All of March goes by. I'm working overtime, still, going about my business. April comes. I think I worked another shift with him as a sergeant, and he's like going like everything is cool, like Crutchfield, I know you like doing DUIs, because I had got the Mothers Against Drunk Driving award the previous year, or that year actually.
Yeah.
But they knew I was getting DUIs. Like I had like 13 arrests. And he's like, I know you like doing DUIs. Do you mind taking out the pass and everything? Like being all cool.
Yeah.
Mid-April comes. I think it was like April 12th or 13th. I'm at home. It's my day off. And I get a knock on my door. And I'm like, I'm not expecting anyone. Yeah. I remember I had a nail appointment. I think I had a nail appointment that day. And so I look on my ring and I see the new lieutenant that's in IA.
No.
And the sergeant, the other IA sergeant. I'm like, why are they at my house?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, hi, all confused, right?
Yeah.
Like,
what are you doing here?
Yeah, like, mind you, I don't live close to Pasadena PD.
Yeah.
I live about 45 minutes east.
Yeah.
So, and that's on a good day.
Yeah, and you made a journey here.
Like, you guys came down here for what?
Yeah.
And so they come in and they're like, so we're just letting you know we're serving you with an IA. You're not to come to the station. We're confiscating your badge. We're confiscating your gun. You must call us every day between 8 to 10 to check in. Like straight criminal status.
Yeah, you were relieved of duty.
Yeah.
They took everything. Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, wait, what?
For what?
Like, hold on, no, let me tell my side, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, no, this is just your serve. Like, you'll have your day for your interview.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're in April. Y'all just now coming to put me on admin leave? And so my charges, I had 4 charges. I had that I disrespected an officer. I pushed an officer.
Okay.
I didn't activate my body-worn camera upon arrival of the scene, which, remember, upon arrival, I was moving cars.
Yeah. Trying to make an ingress and egress for people to get in and out. But,
and that I was insubordinate. And insubordinate.
That's a termination charge. Mm-hmm.
I said, oh my gosh, they're trying to fire me. They're going to fire me.
Yeah.
All because of a miscommunication. Really, that's what it was. You told me to go back to station. I went back to station I was at.
Yeah. You didn't say come meet with me at the station.
Because when you said come to the sergeant's office, where did I go?
Yeah. Then you understood exactly where you're supposed to go.
I said, they're trying to fire me. And so I had hit up the rep that I had notified that day. And I'm like, hey, like, they just came to my house. I remember I called him and I was like, they just came to my house and these are my charges. He said, oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
And girl, I was 2 weeks away at this point.
From making probation.
they said your probation is now extended. And I'm like, what? I'm at home now. For a miscommunication. How about you would have just said, no, you don't need a rep, let's talk.
Yeah.
Like, no, like, trust me, like, you're good. Like, I just want to talk to you about the situation. How come we couldn't just go that route?
Yeah. It's ego. It's what it is. Because you're questioning him. And it's like, so what I have learned, when you're a P1, and I was literally told this by somebody in power when I got my job back the first time. They said, you're a P1 and you're expected to spill your guts and not talk back. And I said, I mean, I didn't say anything because I was just grateful for getting my job back at the time. But in my head, I'm like, so I didn't talk back to anybody. I was educated and I answered the questions appropriately. I studied policy and I knew my rights. So for me, standing up for myself and asking clarifying questions, you're literally telling me that I'm getting punished because of that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm like,
that's what it is.
But the gag is, this corporal literally told me to say it.
Because that's why I said earlier, that is good advice.
Yes.
And after I went through my stuff as a probationer, I would tell people the same exact thing because you've been through it and you want people to not be in that same situation. I was questioned outside of Liebarger also. You know, I was asked accusatory questions that they used against me and my former P3. And I didn't know what Liebarger was. I didn't know what, that they had to afford us a representative or a lawyer. I didn't know any of that when I was a probationer. You don't know that either until somebody tells you. So there's nothing wrong with that. So for him what it was is ego. He's like, how dare she ask me for a rep? That's what it comes down to. And you were treated this way and all these allegations were put on you because you questioned it. Yeah.
And I remember when I was going through the IA interviews, the IA lieutenant, the new one, had said, like, why didn't you just tell her, like, no, we just want to talk. And he, sugarcoated and covered it up, like, well, I didn't know if I had a policy violation, so I didn't want to question her. It's like, no. Again, if you weren't trying to come after me, you would have just said, no, I just want to talk to you about the situation. Like, I felt like it had it been any other supervisor, it would have just been like, no, like, let's just talk about it. I didn't like how you did this. Let's just make sure we do this next time. And boom, squashed. I'd probably still be at Pasadena PD.
Yeah. But also, it's like, it kind of makes your, like, the hairs on the back of your neck stand up when you have to talk to an IA sergeant.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but IA is IA.
They're scary.
Like, they are not, like, I always say this, like, and I know not all IA people are bad people.
Yeah.
Right. I just don't like them.
Right.
Like,
no, same.
I mean, I've just had it really bad. Like, I'm not saying you're a bad person. But
like, you're like squinting your eyes, like, hi.
But it's just because my experience and what I've seen other people go through. It's like they generate something out of nothing. And it's like,
or they look for it,
and it's like all these little minor things that they're so fixated on because of who you are.
Yeah,
that's what it comes down to. And it's just, and like you said, it's not everybody, right? Like not every IA sergeant is going to treat you that way, right? They're not all bad. Just most of them.
Yeah. 98.9%.
But so if an IA sergeant's going to talk to me, when I was a P1, I didn't think twice about it. I was like, whatever you need to know.
Yeah.
Like, what do you need?
Right.
I didn't know.
Exactly.
But after my experience with it, I'm like, wait a minute. Like, you weren't just asking to get the truth. You were asking to get information to fire my P3. Mm-hmm. Like, I see how you work now.
And operate.
Now, when you go and you have to get interviewed or questioned by an IA sergeant, of course, your reaction should be, do I need a rep?
Exactly.
Like, if you're a patrol sergeant, I'm not going to ask, do I need a rep?
Right.
Unless they came from IA. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Or I knew, like, you're interviewing me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It'd be different. But if it's like a sergeant was like, hey, let's talk real quick.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like, do I need a rep?
Yeah.
There's a reason why you did it. And so he has to understand that, but you challenged his authority and it affected his ego. That's what happened. I'm telling you. You know it. I mean, you know.
Now I'm at home. April going into May, and, I'm checking my emails and I see my other 4 academy classmates get off probation. The email went out, May 9th.
That's hard.
May 9th. That was the date. May 9th. The email goes out and they're off probation and my photo is not there because I'm on administrative leave. And so I was still getting paid. It was paid administrative leave, but I mean, when you work so much overtime, and then you go from paid admin leave to still being taxed on that. Girl, I remember after paying bills, I had like $200 in my account to spare. And so I'm like, cool, my academy mates get off probation.
Living their best lives.
Yeah. And so I think it was about June. I'm at home and I'm getting tagged on Instagram through different like social media sites. And my photo is on there and it's like Pasadena PD is trying to fire black rookie officer for trying to de-escalate. And like my notifications are getting blown up. And then there was this one blog that said, you know, Pasadena PD officers were drinking on duty, but black rookie officer is getting punished for trying to do the right thing. And I'm like, who was drinking on duty? Like, I remember when I saw that headline, I was like, okay, people are just trolling. Like,
yeah.
Like, what are you guys talking about? Like, I kid you not. The next 24 hours was a game changer. A video gets released, and there are Pasadena police officers attending another officer. You know, she was the girl that I was in the academy with. My academy mate.
Oh, okay.
So the probationer. This party was back in January. So she was still a probationer at the time. So they went to her house. It was her birthday party. She was off duty. But in the video, you see her pouring tequila shots, and it was caught on her Ring camera. Pouring tequila shots and walking it to the Pasadena police officers who were working in full police uniform, firearms, patrol cars. She walks the shots to them, and they take shots.
On duty.
On duty in full police uniform. And so I'm seeing this video, and I'm like...
You can't do that?
I'm like, wait. Wait. I know I'm a new officer, but I ain't that damn new.
Yeah.
Like, are we really are we furnishing shots to police officers, and we are really sitting here taking shots?
On duty.
On duty, back in January. Apparently, Pasadena PD had this video back in March. The person who gave up the video actually turned it into IA. It was my academy mate's husband.
Oh.
He found out that she was cheating on him. And he is a man of honor and integrity. This guy, he was cut short in law enforcement. He had a illness to where he woke up one day paralyzed.
Oh my gosh.
And so he had to medically retire. But when I say this man, like, he values the mission, and oh my God, just a man of God, just integrity's up here. He found out his wife was cheating, messing around. And so he was like, you know, cops were drinking at my house. I can't live with myself. I have too much integrity to know that they were drinking, and drove away in police cars and still went out there and patrol. So he was like, forget this, forget my marriage. I'm going to go tell the truth. And so he actually reported this video to IA back in March. Now remember, I got placed on leave in April. So they saw them drinking on the job.
Yeah. Did nothing about it.
Do you think they put them on admin leave?
Absolutely not.
So now he is like, he finds out what's happening to me. He's like, forget this. I'm going to the media. Because I think he told IA, if you guys don't do something about this, I will. And
he did.
And he did.
Wow, good for him. He did. Good for him.
And so in hindsight, I'm like, shout out to him, because really he saved me from being fired. Because now it's like, if you're going to fire me and you're going to keep cops drinking on the job, we got a problem.
Yeah.
And so I remember looking at this video, and I'm like, I know there are not cops drinking on the job, and I'm sitting at home. And they're out there patrolling the streets.
Yeah. Like, God knows what incident they got into after that, too. I mean, that's...
But you're trying to say that because during depositions, that, you know, everyone was saying that what I did was so egregious, my insubordination was so egregious, to where they needed me to be at home so I don't go out there and be insubordinate again. But you left cops who were drinking on the job. You left them out in the field to continue to work. What they did wasn't egregious.
Yeah, totally fine.
Like, God forbid they go to a bar next and consume alcohol, or they're at the next party
and take another shot.
And taking other shots, and then responding to something major or critical and getting the OIS and shoots the wrong suspect because they're drunk or under the influence. That's not egregious, though.
No.
But little old me trying to de-escalate and asking a supervisor if I need a rep led to me being
which is so crazy, because like de-escalation became a really big deal, right? I mean, it's actually case law. What is it, Hayes v. San Diego?
Yeah, well,
right?
After George Floyd, it blew up. I mean, people were literally put in prison for not
stepping in.
Yeah.
I mean, it literally, there's case law now,
right.
And it changed the law in California. So yes, this incident didn't end up in a use of force, or, well, I don't know. I mean, it sounded like it did, but it didn't end up in an OIS. Nobody died.
Right.
Okay, I get it. But what if it had?
Exactly.
And then you go to court. I mean, I don't know how many of these people have gone to court and testified and have to be held accountable for their actions, and then be shown pictures of their social media and all this stuff. Like, you have to account for everything you do. That's why, I mean, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just like let it go and say, oh, I didn't know, I'm gonna look the other way. I mean, there was another incident for LAPD, I don't remember exactly, but there was something similar where the female got involved, like stepped in because it was getting aggressive and she was trying to save him. I can't remember, it's been so many years now, but I feel like she was like patronized, like very much so. Like, they made her out to be like, what are you doing? Why are you stepping in? Let him do his job. But I think that officer got in trouble too. Like, but it's like, it's literally law. Like, I have to de-escalate it.
Right.
And you literally probably saved his job, to be honest with you.
Well, because he ended up being sued anyways.
Yeah.
Him and the sergeant.
But God forbid, like, what if that escalated?
Exactly.
You're like, what you did probably stopped. Like, now he took his aggression out on you instead of the suspect.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean,
exactly.
You know, I mean, there's a reason for everything.
Right.
Like I said, you know, like, he might have been upset about it. The sergeant's upset about it. Whatever. Let him be upset.
Yeah.
I just saved your job.
Right.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're
Because you
welcome.
were being sued. You were being sued.
Yeah.
You were in this lawsuit being sued. This attorney was coming after you for putting the guy's face in cactus, and
which is so crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, so just flashing back to us talking about like being a woman in law enforcement. And I think that it's important for people to understand that, yes, like, women, we understand we are not men, unless, it's whatever.
Right.
It's a different conversation.
Right.
But like, if, we're not men, we don't have the same strength, we're made differently. But what we do have is like a tender touch, right? We have
that motherly figure.
Right, we do. And we have the ability to de-escalate just naturally.
Right.
And so it's like reading the room kind of thing. And I do think that for the most part, I don't like to generalize too much, but like women can read the room a little bit better than some men do. And it's like, because they have testosterone, they're built tough, strong, and I'm, that's normal. That's how men should be, right?
Exactly.
And women come in and we're softer, and it's like, okay, let me look at this. Like, you can kind of pick it out. Like, these boys are, like, they're being aggressive at each other, whatever, but they lost their dad.
They're little hotheads.
Maybe they lost their dad. Like, it's their dad. Maybe it's their dad's fault, right? Like, he tried to kill somebody, so you're gonna die. Like, I mean, it is what it is, but it doesn't mean that their kids aren't still sad about it or emotional about it.
Right, or they don't have the right to be.
Have some common sense. Have some common sense and like, hey, like, let them hash it out, whatever. We'll just be here, like, to de-escalate between you guys. Let's separate you guys, calm you down. Don't escalate
to keep
the situation.
Peace. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's like, we're not in an era of, like, the 80s and 90s, or, I mean, like, you can't just go in and be heavy-handed. There's cameras everywhere. There's case laws. There's precedent. Like, there's just so much that has changed in the world of policing where we're not those same cops from back then, where that's why IA was generated, because of those cops. Do you know what I mean?
Or de-escalation is a whole 100-page post-certified book now. It's a whole handbook on it.
It's like, what are we doing here? We're gonna come after you for trying to do the right thing because you affected his ego?
Yeah.
That's just mind-blowing to me. So,
insane.
So this husband of the officer, what happened to her? Did she end up getting fired? Or
So she, in I think it was okay, so she got charged for like conduct unbecoming and something else. But again, they knew about this back in March. So they never placed her on leave. She was a probationary officer like myself.
Yeah.
Didn't get placed on leave. Got to work. The other cops, it was like Corporal L, the one that gave me the advice. He took shots as a supervisor. And 2 other officers. One was a FTO and the other one was an officer. No, they got to work every day. You know what? They worked more. They picked up more shifts because they knew that they probably were going to be disciplined.
Yeah.
And so no one was placed on leave. Like, you drink on the job, any other job,
Done.
without a blink. But over there, you could still work. You know, it's not an egregious act.
Yeah.
You know,
Because they're probably going to claim, like, you don't know that it was tequila. You don't know, or whatever alcohol
oh
was.
no, oh no.
They admitted it?
There's an article out there that said the police department confirmed that they
Oh.
were drinking.
Okay.
It's on video, so you can't lie.
Yeah. You're like, it is
Yeah.
what it is. You took shots.
No, they confirmed it. So they know they
Okay.
were drinking alcohol.
So, what are we doing here?
So they get to work all the overtime they want.
So
Under
frustrating.
investigation.
This is so frustrating.
Under investigation. They're working all the overtime they want. They end up getting suspended for like a few days. A few days to the point where they took it as a vacation. All that overtime they had worked, one went to Mexico, one went to Vegas, took it as a vacation, and then came back to work. And investigation over.
Still there.
And so I'm getting IA'd interviewed. I got IA'd interviewed back in June. And this is after all the media attention. So you could tell IA was just, they wanted to ask, like, are you going to the media? I could tell they wanted to ask.
Yeah.
I forgot. He did say it in a way where it's like, you know, just a reminder, you're not allowed to discuss this or whatever. But, I mean, I didn't go to the media. Like, oh boy, freaking dropped the bomb.
Yeah,
Like,
not on me.
You know? And then in the lawsuit, like, it was already all in there in the attorney's lawsuit that represented the family. All this information was in there. It was information in there that stuff happened before I was even a Pasadena police officer. So I don't know who dropped the bomb.
Yeah.
But they were like, you could tell they were upset because it's creating all this media source. So I did my first IA interview or whatever. And I remember in this IA interview, the sergeant had said something to me like, didn't you have an issue in your academy with like talking back or like following directions? And in my mind, I'm like, what does this have to do with this IA interview?
Yeah.
You
it's
know?
outside the scope.
And I'm like trying to wait for my attorney to be like, objection, like irrelevant.
Yeah.
But she didn't. And so I'm trying to think fast on my feet. And I'm like, no, I didn't have issues at the academy. Like, I mean, if I talked back, it was for a personal reason. And that was because I needed to take my inhaler. But other than that, and so
Because they're trying to claim like pattern of conduct, right? Is that what they were trying to say?
Yes. And so I'm like, why would he ask me that? So, you know, I get through the first IA interview. I said first because I was interviewed again. That was in June.
Isn't it the worst? It's the worst. It's the worst getting interviewed.
I get a text, and this is my FOP attorney. So I get a text from her. She's like, hey, you're going to have to get re-interviewed. They're hitting you with another allegation. And I'm like, what is this allegation? She's like, they're trying to say you lied. And I'm like, lied about what? And so August comes. Now at this point, I'm like, they're trying to fire me. Because now you're hitting me with insubordination and lying. You know, in law enforcement, you lie, you die.
Yeah.
And so, well, you lie, you die to a certain extent. You run from CHP and you lie about that, you can still keep your job. But that's another story.
Oh gosh.
So
It just depends who you are.
yeah,
That's the way to
you're
put
right.
it.
Because you could be Brady listed and still be a
Totally fine.
So I get interviewed again, and this time I'm like, I'm done. Like in my mind, I'm like, I'm filing a lawsuit because I'm literally looking at cops drinking on the job, and you guys didn't go this hard for them. but here I am fighting for my life. And so I remember I retained my civil rights attorney, and when it came to that second interview, I had both my FOP attorney and my civil rights attorney. And they knew as soon as we walked in, IA knew this was going to be a lawsuit.
Yeah.
Sir, do you have a card on you? This is what they were asking my attorney. Do you have a card on you? He's like, yeah. And it said civil rights attorney. So they knew. They made phone calls and everything. They were like, we may have to postpone this interview, blah, 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 blah. And so they were like, no, okay, we got okay. All they did was call the city council or council, you know, their attorneys.
Yeah, the city attorney.
Yeah. And so the reason why they hit me with the lying charge was because they said, during your first IA interview, you had mentioned that you had a run-in with this family before. You kind of remember them from a previous encounter. We went back through your body-worn camera and found that previous encounter. And it was another like 415 call with them, but it was like a big group of them. They were there amongst the group. And I remember, it's funny how the tables turn. I remember one of the sons from my incident on this call was back in November, like 22.
Yeah.
He was chirping at the officers. And so when I got there, I said, hey, let's take a walk. Come with me. Let's go over here. I de-escalated him from the officers.
Yeah.
The same exact thing I did with my officer with him, I did to him. I said, hey, let's take a walk. Like, what's going on? Like, why are you upset at the officers? Blah, 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 blah. So they found my body-worn camera incident with him. And then fast forward, he's the one at the scene on the February 20th incident. And so they go, we think you know this family. And I'm like, wait, what? And they're like, do you know them? And I'm like, I mean, I'm familiar with them. They live in the city. I work in the area. My beat is the area that they live in. So I may have run-ins with them.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I know them.
Yeah. I don't go party with them.
Yeah. And I'm like, now that when you asked me during my first IA interview, had I had encounters with them, I'm like, yeah, I think I did have one back in November of 2022. If I could recall, they were involved in this, this, and this. So what does IA do? They go digging, like you said, they dig. And then he finds the encounter with them. And so then he goes, yeah, just based off this, it just seems like you know them. And I'm like, even if I did know them.
What does it matter?
Yeah. Are you trying to say that I acted the way I acted with Officer P because I knew them? Like, as if I'm
some kind of bias?
Yeah, like as if I'm trying to avoid them getting arrested or something because I knew them. Like, no, I'm a community-oriented officer, so if I can try to diffuse a situation, I'm going to do that. Just like how you saw me de-escalate the son and then turn around and do it to my officer, maybe that's just who I am. Maybe I just try to avoid a hostile environment.
Yeah. And what's so wrong with that?
Yeah.
Isn't that what we are, peacemakers?
Yeah. And so my civil rights attorney was like, he was like, did you really call her in and hit her with a lying charge just to interview her to see if she knew the family? And they're like, yeah, in order for us to re-interview, we have to add another charge. And my attorney was like, okay.
Add it to the list. Add it to the lawsuit.
The next few weeks, I remember I did my intent to sue. I did the intent to sue. I was supposed to get the rendering of my IA disposition in September. It was like September 6th because my FOP attorney said, hey, they should have an answer for you September 6th, meaning like, I'm going to find out if I'm guilty of my IA, if I'm not. September 6th comes around and it's silent. And I'm like, okay. So now I'm still on admin leave. I'm still at home. September comes around, nothing. October, nothing. Maybe like mid-October, I get a call from the IA lieutenant. And he goes, hey, you're going to come back to work. And I'm like, okay. Am I like guilty? Am I not? And he's like, I don't know the disposition of your IA yet. And I'm like, all right. And so he's like, yeah, you're going to come back to work. You're going to be partnered with this officer who's a senior officer for like 4 months. And I'm like, am I back on training? He's like, no, it's just to get reacclimated. I'm like, that's funny because when officers go IOD or, you know, they take some time off or maternity leave or whatever, they're not riding with somebody for 4 months.
No.
For reacclimation. Like, are you kidding me? So I'm like, here we go. And so, mind you, they have my intent to sue. They knew I was suing. And so then I returned to work and I'm riding with the senior officer. We're handling calls, and the senior officer, he's so great. It was a really good bonding moment. You know, he was involved in the OIS and stuff, so we kind of just went through that and how he emotionally came over stuff because he knew what I was going through.
Yeah. And
so I remember looking at my email, and then I was just assigned a leadership training, just random.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the heck? Like, when did I sign up for a leadership training? And so then I questioned the guy on that, the field training coordinator. I was like, what is this leadership training I'm going to? He's like, oh, it just comes from upstairs. And I'm like, okay. So now I'm like, okay, now I need leadership training. Okay. And then I get called in. At the same day I returned back to work, I get called in. And I'm hand delivered a paper that says probation extension. And so I'm like, what? Like, my probation already been extended. Like, I should be getting off. And it goes, you know, because you were placed on admin leave, you know, you're going to be getting off probation November, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, all right, thanks for the reminder. Another probation extended reminder. Because remember, I had one from the IA paperwork that my probation was extended. So now this is number 2. And so November comes. All of a sudden, I don't need to ride with this senior officer anymore. All of a sudden.
Yeah.
No more 4 months. So I get called in by the lieutenant and the FTO coordinators. And they go, this is your probation eval. You know, congratulations. We're going to get you off probation. And I'm like, okay, yay. That's so great. You know, finally.
Yeah.
7 months, 8 months later. And they're like, read through it. You know, if you like it, everything looks good, sounds good, you can sign. So the probation eval is phenomenal. And, you know, it talks about me getting the Mothers Against Drunk Driving award, which I didn't get to attend my ceremony, by the way. The ceremony was in June. I was on admin leave. So I found out I was getting this award through email.
Oh.
My friend actually texted me that worked at the department and said, congratulations, you got the DUI pin. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, oh, you didn't see the email? And I saw the email, and the other officer that got the award with me, he was at the ceremony with his photo holding his thing.
Oh, gosh.
And I was like, oh, wow, I didn't even get to go to my own ceremony.
Yeah.
So that's how I found out that
you got an award.
Yeah, through email. So that was on my probation eval, along with everything else that I've been doing since I've been a probationer at the police department. Nothing in there said, you know, anything like, you know, she needs to be extended on probation. You know, decision making is not that great. You know, we need to remediate her, and that nothing. Probation eval, so good, to the point where I was getting off probation.
Yeah.
I sign. They go, okay, good job, congrats. 30 seconds. 30 seconds from them exiting, the commander and my immediate lieutenant, because those were the FTO coordinators and lieutenants, my immediate lieutenant that's in charge of my shift and the police commander walk in, and they go, so we're going to put you on a performance improvement plan. And I'm like, I just got off probation 30 seconds ago.
Oh my gosh.
And they're like, so this plan, you know, it's not discipline. It's not discipline. But, you know, we do think you need extra supervision. And so pretty much what this performance improvement plan said, it said I didn't make good decisions. Now remember, the document I just had said I did. I didn't make good decisions. I had trouble doing this, and this is when they put my college background stuff in there, and then they put the stuff in the academy. And I'm like, that's why he asked me during my IA interview if I had issues in the academy. They went so far back to dig, and dig. They went back through my background check, what I did in the academy, all this, and put it in my performance improvement plan. Now, background checks are confidential. Mm-hmm. This is a document that stays in my file.
That someone can get.
That someone can get through Pitch's motion. Mm-hmm. So now my confidential background stuff is in my performance improvement plan. And so I'm like reading this, and my jaw is to the ground. I wasn't trying to show emotion, because I'm just like, in the back of my head, I'm like, did y'all really just do this?
Yeah.
And both documents are dated the same exact day, and one says I make good decisions and one say I don't. Put all this stuff in there, put the whole IA in there, and I didn't even have my IA findings.
But they put the investigation.
They put the whole investigation in there. Just so much fluff. And if you go on my Instagram, I posted it, 'cause at this point I don't care. And so
what are they gonna do to you?
Yeah, I don't care.
What are they gonna do to you?
You know what? Like, I don't care. And so I remember the second to last page said, when you are in the field, before you dispo a call, you need to call your supervision. You need to get approval. And, you're not going to be eligible for specialized assignments. You're not going to be able to do this. And if you don't meet our expectations, you could face termination.
After you were just told how amazing you were 30 seconds ago.
And I could face termination. You guys are trying to get rid of me. Mm-hmm. You're trying to get rid of me. You didn't want to do it on my probation because of all the media saying, probation extended and all this. So now you're going to find another way to do it. And you're going to do it on this performance improvement plan. Somehow I'm not going to meet your expectations. I can cross my T's, dot my I's, write pretty in cursive. Another word. Yeah, and I'm still not going to meet your. I'm not going to meet your expectation. You're going to fire me. Mm-hmm. And that's what you're basically telling me, like, hey, heads up, we're going to fire you. It's just a matter of time now.
Yeah. Wow.
And so I remember I went out and
you had no rep with you then, right? It was just you, the commander, and the lieutenant.
And then the part, because I was going to put refuse. When it came to the signing part, I was going to say refuse. But they said, they're like, this is not you, like, you can't refuse this. It's just you acknowledging you're on it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right, whatever. So I sign it. I walk out of there, start taking photos. Pa, pa, every page. It's like 7 pages long. Pa, pa, pa. Just start sending them off to my attorney. And so my attorney responds, he goes, this is good. I'm like, what do you mean this is good?
Yeah. Like it's not good for me.
I celebrated me being on probation for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And he goes, that's okay. It's showing the retaliation. And so I'm like, okay.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
And that's in November. So now my attorney's like, great, now we're going to do a press conference on all this. Mm-hmm. Now we're going to just go to the media, go public.
Yeah.
So I remember it was December 4th, 2023. And my family had did the press conference. I couldn't do the press conference because I was still employed. So my family had to go on my behalf. And they talked, they did the press conference. And it was like, I had to go into work the next day, or that same day.
Yeah.
I was like, this is about to be crazy. And
like, so, awkward.
Yeah. Walk in the briefing.
Hey guys.
After my family's literally just sitting there like, she did this. And I walk in, I'm like, hi, it's me again. And so I remember I log on and dispatches me and goes, 3041, whatever my call sign was. Respond to the address. It's a target. A guy with a gun call. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, cool. Calls like that start going in. You start thinking tactics, like how many people are calling, how many people are there, like who saw, who unviewed, is it concealed, is it, you just start thinking all tactics. Do we have the air unit available, blah, 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 blah. And so a call like that generates almost every officer to respond because
Yeah.
now you have a person with a firearm.
Could be an active shooter. You have no idea. Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going and I'm like, dang, no one has put themselves en route. And I know that the call went out because I acknowledged it. And dispatch is giving me the info. And, you know, they're additional, we have this, and this, additional. So I'm like, okay, people should be
Buying the call.
Yeah.
Show me responding.
No. No one. And so I'm like, all right, God, well, I guess it's just me and you.
Yeah.
Guess it's just me and you. And so the lieutenant that day goes over the radio and says, can units respond to back her up?
Yeah,
and
very
then that's
good.
when people started saying en route. But why did a lieutenant have to go over the air and request for someone to back me up?
Yeah, because they didn't want to.
They didn't want to. They didn't want to.
They were mad that you your family did a press conference. They're mad that you're fighting back. And so like, all right, we'll show you. We won't go to your call.
Yeah.
Unless we're ordered to.
And in the video, you literally see a guy with a gun. And so I think someone left a comment on my page. It was like, you have officer safety issues. Why did you go to a guy with a gun call by yourself? Well, someone has to go.
I was assigned the call. I got insubordination for going to the wrong station. So like, what do you want from me here?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Then if I don't go, then what? No. Here's the thing. If
The
you don't
neglect
go,
of duty.
if you don't go to the
coward.
call, yeah,
You're a coward. You shouldn't be on
you
the
shouldn't be in
job.
the.
Yeah. It's like,
I'm
wait,
damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't.
you can't do anything right.
No. Right? So I'm going, like I said,
Yeah.
I
You requested it. Is there an airship available? Are there units available?
I took an oath to protect the public. So if I'm the only one there facing this guy with a gun, then that's what I signed up for. And so eventually people came and we figured it out, but another thing to add to my lawsuit. So January comes, now we're in 2024. January comes and I'm with a partner in our same beat and I get injured on duty. It was a call. We had to take down a female because, us females are weak. So
Yeah.
I had to take down a female, homeless lady. She was fighting. And then I injured my knee. I hit like a cement electrical box.
Oh, yeah.
When I took her down. And so knee swelled up and I was I wasn't even light duty. I was off for the next few months. But while I was off, February came. Now, remember, when you are under internal affairs, they only have up to 1 year. And then they have to give you an answer. So now February makes it that year mark. And they tell me to come down to the department. And they say, we have your IA disposition. And so I remember looking at the paperwork and I'm like, all right, here we go. I'm flipping through the pages. Like I see all the charges that they hit me with. Now it's 5. Like, all right, here goes nothing. So I flipped to the last page. Not sustained, not sustained, not sustained, not sustained, not sustained. Signed by the chief. And I'm like, why was I on admin leave for this long? For none of these, especially the serious allegations, nothing was sustained. Why am I on a PIP? You used the IA on my PIP.
And I'm not guilty on anything.
And I'm not guilty of anything.
Wow.
Like, how did you justify the PIP? Like, excuse me, question.
Can we remove this now?
Yeah. So am I still on the PIP? Because you used majority of the IA on the PIP.
And
I was still on the PIP.
So how could they justify it though? I mean, how could they sit there and
Because
say...
my decision making is not good from stuff I did back
Oh, so
in
they were like,
college.
okay, this part we can take out, but she
They
still
didn't
has...
take anything out. The PIP is still the PIP. Nothing was removed. In fact, when I returned back from being off duty for my injury, which I think was like May. I think it was May. I returned back, and as soon as I came back to work from being all healed and rehabbed, I get hit with another document saying, you're still on the PIP. You're still on the PIP.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
For what now?
Just still on it because you
haven't proved yourself yet.
Well, it was only day blah 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 when you got injured out of 90 days because the PIP was a 90-day PIP. So you're still on the PIP.
Wow.
And so back when I found out I was going to be on admin leave, I had started applying to jobs because the charges they were hitting me with, I knew they were going to get rid of me. There was no way, and I knew I was going to be suing. So there was no way I was going to be staying at Pasadena, not after all this.
No.
And so I started applying to jobs literally, and that's the type of person I am. I'm such a planner where it's like, I got to start thinking
Preparing
about
for the future.
Yeah, and thinking about my backup plan. So I started applying to the job I'm at now. I applied to that job like April-ish, end of April, May. Because remember, I got hit with the IA notification in April. So I'm just like, whatever, I'm going to start looking for jobs. So I started applying to all these jobs. And so fast forward, when I came back and I was given that, hey, you're on the PIP still, that was May. I was almost done pretty much with the process of where I'm at now. All they were waiting for was the IA disposition to be concluded.
Yeah.
And that which prolonged me leaving.
Yeah.
Because I had applied to them back in April of 2023 when I found out I was going to be on leave. So I didn't get hired with them till almost a year later. Thank God they were still holding off on me. Oh, that was such a blessing.
Yeah.
But my judge in my case said, well, you weren't really affected. This is part of the reason why he dismissed it. You weren't really affected by any of this that you're claiming because you're still able to work as a police officer. In fact, you applied to the job you're at now in April of 2023. So you were already thinking about leaving in the first place.
But what does it have to do with actual civil rights violations?
Or how about, yeah, I did apply to them. You're right. I did apply to them in April of 2023 after I knew I wasn't going to be there. After what they were coming me after, like, I would be stupid not to start applying.
Right. Like but this was your dream job. You were forced to not work at your dream job at your dream department because of this. So, like, this isn't voluntary. Like, I don't want to leave Pasadena. Like, I have to.
I have to.
So I don't understand.
So I resigned. Well, I was constructively discharged. And I put in my resignation, like, hey, I'm constructively discharged. You know, this place is so intolerable. Like, I cannot stay here. Here's my resignation letter. And then I started at my new job, like, July 1st. So June is when I gave them my constructive discharge resignation. And pretty much that's when the judge, fast forward 3 years of litigation, doing depots, that's what the judge recently dismissed my case during motion summary judgment. I was supposed to be in trial like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
If we would have went to trial, it would have been 2 weeks ago. But he dismissed my case February like 13th and did a 30-page motion summary judgment.
Wow.
Siding with the city.
Wow. Wow. What were the complaints on your lawsuit?
Discrimination, harassment, retaliation, a lot of it's so much stuff that happened. Like, the chief took out the one who served the cops the alcohol. He took her out to like a lunch at Earth Cafe. She's Hispanic. He's married to a Hispanic woman. Hispanic women, that's his type. Took her out, you know, I guess she was involved in a DV. I don't know the justifications behind that, but that's why he said he took her out.
Oh, to like console her.
And so, you know, we put that in there like, look, he's showing favoritism. This is why she didn't get punished for what she did, because they're out there eating lunch together and dinners at Earth Cafes. And
he's the chief of police.
He's the chief of police. He's been sued at another police department, that his previous employer, he was sued, I think twice, because discrimination, and I think these were like Asian officers that brought up this claim. Discrimination for them, and then had sexual harassment.
Oh my gosh. How do these people end up in positions of power like this? In charge of an entire police department, dispositions of complaints, and...
This chief walked out of my deposition. My attorney was grilling him on why my probation eval and my PIP were two different discrepancies.
Right.
Again,
You had
once
no answer for it, huh?
he walked out.
How can you just walk out?
He walked out.
So, I mean, I'm just going to be like the dumb one here, but like, how can a judge not see that and say...
The judge said that the chief can do what he
Whatever.
did.
But I get that. Like, he can do whatever he wants. I'm not going to answer whatever, but how does it not show guilt? I mean, how could a judge not want to send it to jury? I don't understand that, where he's just
He
going to
said there was
grant the
not
summary.
enough. There was not enough triable facts for that a reasonable jury would think that like I was retaliated and harassed and discriminated. The chief is an African American male, so we knew that was going to be probably the first hurdle. Like,
Yeah.
how can a black person discriminate on another black person? But it happens.
happens.
Look.
Yes, it happens.
Look.
It happens, and that's what the jury is for.
Oh, no,
Are you guys going to appeal it?
The goal is to appeal. My civil rights attorney, he doesn't practice appeals.
Okay.
So I have to now be referred out to another firm or find an attorney who's willing to take it. The challenge is the judge did a 30-page motion summary judgment, and my attorney said he's never seen a judge do that in the 40 years he's been practicing.
Yeah.
It was intentional.
Yeah.
Like, this judge made sure, one, he made an example out of me. Mm-hmm. He's prior military himself. Nothing against military people.
Yeah.
I have family members who served, and I thank everyone for their service. But when you have that mindset of like, this is a paramilitary department and you must do this, and no one can go up against superior and people in power, that's a lot of military people's mindset, because that's how it is in the military.
Yeah.
You come to work, you shut up, you don't speak unless spoken to.
Yeah. But it's not the military. It is paramilitary, but it's not the military.
Right.
It's a different, like, we have like the human side of it and compassion that plays into it.
Yeah.
Because we're serving the community. We're not
Exactly.
serving bad guys. I mean, we are, but like,
Yeah.
it's not just war. You know what I
Even,
mean?
like-
It's like a different organization.
Even with all the other claims, like cops drinking on the job, the judge said, yeah, they drank on the job, but you can't compare your treatment with theirs, because what you were IA'd for wasn't alcohol related.
Yeah. So, and that's what I've seen. Like, I mean, it's like hard to believe, but it's not, because I've seen the same thing in my stuff and other people's stuff. And it's like, these judges have so much power and control, and they do use their own experience and their bias to make their decisions.
do.
You do get this feeling of like aloneness and like, why me, and why has nobody listened to me? I mean, to this day, like I had to go back to my board of rights after winning my writ. I go back to the same board, and they looked at me in the eyes and said, I simply find you not credible. And I'm like, cool. Awesome. Like,
Same exact board.
same exact board. And it's like I just felt nothing anymore. I'm like, oh, at what point, for me it was like,
You fell victim to the system.
I'm like, okay, you're never going to believe me. And how do you prove that you're not a liar? And so I
Right.
understand, like, when you're sitting here trying to defend yourself and nobody will listen and nobody believes you, it's like, well, what am I going to do now? Like,
Exactly.
I'm just, you know what? God's the judge. God knows the story. People that know me know the story. I am not like, and I even like go so far as, I had this like come to Jesus moment in church the other day. And I was like, I forgive them all. Like,
Yeah.
they don't know what they're doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, they are doing what they think is the right thing. And I'm not
Yeah.
going to sit here and just like have this hatred towards people
Right.
anymore. But like you said, like, you
'Cause you
can see how
can't
certain
live with
people-
that.
You can't. And it's like, I'm guided by God. I'm
Yeah.
guided by the Bible. That's my manuscript, right? Like, that's what I'm going to do. And not all people are designed and wired that way. Yeah.
And this is why, like, every day I'm able to wake up and keep pushing, because with me coming out and using my voice, I was able to open the forum for others. I can't tell you how many people have reached out, men and women.
Yes. Oh, yes. It makes a difference because people want to know that they're not alone.
Yeah.
Like, imagine had this platform been available? Like, because it's common now. Like, more platforms are coming out to share people's stories.
Yeah.
Had this been available back then, like, how many lives would have been saved?
Right.
Because it truly does make a difference to know you're not alone.
Yeah.
Because you start to sit there and think, like, am I crazy? Am I crazy?
I can't tell you how many times I'm like, maybe they're right.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I am this problematic child. Maybe I am like, shoot, am I going to the extreme?
Yeah.
Am I tripping? Like, I cannot tell you how many times I'm like, dang, I guess cops shrinking on the job isn't so bad.
Yeah. You
Like, what?
Trust me. I know exactly what you mean. What you're like, because you go through this stuff where you're like, okay, I am biased, right? Like, I'm me. I know the story. Like, I know what I did and didn't do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, but all these other people, nobody seemed to agree with me, so I have to be the wrong one. Like, I have to be wrong on this. And you get to a point where you're just questioning your own sanity, your own morals, your own memory. You're like, did I? Like, is my memory that bad? Like, what's happening here? Am I remembering this wrong? And,
Well, even
but it's
like
not you. It's not.
a couple months ago, because I still have some friends at the department. My issue was never really with my peers. It was the higher ups.
Mm-hmm.
A couple months ago, I got a text and my friend said, oh my gosh, you would never believe this. And I'm like, what? Blah, blah, blah. Officer, blah, blah, blah. Shot officer, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
What?
Like, on a call? Like, active shooter? Because that can happen, crossfire.
Right.
And I'm like, what? They're like, no. They were playing a game of who can draw the fastest.
Stop it. Stop.
And I said, hold on. They were playing with their guns. They're like, yeah. In the freaking garage where all the patrol cars are parked.
I'm sorry, that is...
One of them had a trainee who sat there and witnessed all of it. They decide to do this game where they see each other and they draw their weapons.
Oh my God.
To the point where, boom, guns goes off. So now, an officer is IOD because he got shot during horseplay.
And what happened to them?
We don't know. They're still, I guess, under internal affairs. Last thing I heard, and I don't know, after I say this, probably it'll be cover up.
Yeah.
But last I heard was that the DA actually wanted to file charges on the officer.
They should.
It was the same. You know what? It was the same officer who was taking shots on duty. He was the shooter. Girl, he got issues. His shots don't miss, I guess.
Yeah, I guess
No
not.
pun intended.
Wow. That was good. I wonder if he was also taking shots that day. I mean, that is
He has a history with shots.
insane.
Yes.
Like, how old are we?
But this isn't the first time that happened at that department. It happened I don't know why this department thinks playing with guns is cool, because a similar incident happened years ago. Same exact thing. Play this game of who can draw their firearm the fastest, and another person had got shot. So here we are. History repeats itself. When I say history repeats itself, there is a book called Roses Have Thorns, and it's authored by Nom Ware. And I wish somebody would have showed me this book before I went there. This guy literally laid out how dirty and corrupt Pasadena police is. It's literally a book on Amazon. And I remember when I was on admin leave, because I had 7 months.
Yeah.
I ordered the book and I started reading it. And I'm like, history repeats itself.
Oh my gosh. I need to read it now. I'm gonna go order
Roses
it.
have thorns. Because Pasadena is known as the city of rose.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's what he authored his book. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Was he a former police officer that wrote it? Oh. Wow.
And I'm like, why didn't no one tell me about this book before I went there?
That is, just repeats itself.
So there's 4 pending lawsuits still. Once I came out, 2 others came out that was actually on my case with me. They got to settle. The judge let them settle.
But not you.
No, girl. I'm the bad child.
Yeah. With nothing wrong on your record.
Yeah, I'm
Because
the
it was
bad
all
child.
not guilty on everything.
Yeah, we're not going to let this go to a jury.
Yeah.
Girl, you're going to sit home, and I'm going to make sure you don't feel it, because I'm going to do a 30-page motion summary judgment to get your case dismissed.
Oh my gosh.
But
Was that in Pasadena court also?
It was in LA County. So, yeah, the two guys get to settle, which they had issues too. I mean, I'm not going to downplay what they went through. I mean, one of the guys, the officers, he was like strangled by a commander.
Oh my gosh.
They tried to say it was horseplay, but
what is happening at Pasadena Police Department?
Girl,
like they're shooting each other, strangling each other, taking shots on duty.
Yeah,
like
he literally
what is happening
like strangled
here?
him to the point where like this officer on my case like suffered some injuries. Yeah, he had a prior neck injury. So this commander goes and I think from what I remember is that he filed a grievance on, the whole corporal process. He scored, I think he scored decent, but they told him no on the corporal, so he filed a grievance. And then the commander claimed that he was horseplaying with him and injured his neck.
By strangling him.
Yeah. And then the other guy on it is a sergeant. He witnessed the whole thing, and then some stuff happened with him too. But yeah, they got to settle.
Oh my gosh, like what is happening? Like what world do we live in? So in the middle of all this, I mean, you had 7 months of like, what is going to happen? Like you didn't know, was I going to be fired? Am I going to get to keep my job? What's going to happen? What were you feeling about yourself?
I was suffering bad because I had just gone into the workforce. I didn't have money saved up. Like I went through school. I was a college track and field athlete. I was a student athlete, so I never really worked like that to where
that was your job was sports to pay for college.
I didn't have savings. So it was bad. Like I was down bad, like financial wise. Like I had to ask my boyfriend for help. I had to pull out loans to make bills. Like it was a bad time. I went to see counseling. I saw a psychiatrist. It was
and you hit rock bottom.
It's crazy because like I could laugh now because at this point, like, God said no weapon formed against you shall prosper.
Right.
Mm-hmm. He didn't say the weapon wasn't gonna form.
Yeah, that is true. That's a really good point.
He didn't say it wasn't gonna form. He just said it wasn't gonna prosper. Mm-hmm. And so now I sit back and all I can do is laugh because it's like they tried to silence me. Mm-hmm. They tried. And I remember this person said it under my comment. They tried to silence her, but only made her voice louder.
Ooh, I love that. Mm-hmm.
And so during those months, I didn't know, when you go to the courts, you don't know how it's going to go. Mm-hmm. It can go either way.
Yeah.
Even with the jury.
Mm-hmm.
You may think you have the best case, all the facts, and the jury can still say, no. Same thing. Same exact thing. I didn't know which way it would go. I knew I was going against a powerful government entity. Pasadena has money. They can get the best of the best attorneys. Mm-hmm. I already knew like this battle wasn't going to be an easy one because with money, you have power. I was expecting to go to trial, but I know how dirty and corrupt government entities are. I know because I literally just witnessed it. Mm-hmm. So when I heard that my case got dismissed, I wasn't shocked. And same thing would be on admin leave for 7 months. Wasn't shocked. I was more like, are you kidding me? Like, it's one thing to like have me on admin leave and then, okay, the cops drinking on duty. They were on admin leave too. Okay, that's fair for me. I wasn't shocked that it was happening to me.
Mm-hmm. Which is so sad.
Yeah.
It's sad to just expect it.
Yeah. And then when people started hitting up my attorney and telling me like, yeah, she was dealing with battles way before she was even sworn, like in the academy, this person put this on her and told this guy to wash her out. It all just was a full circle moment. It all made sense. And then I remember questioning myself. Like, why is this happening to me? And my dad would say, well, why not you? Why not you? Mm-hmm. God chose you for a reason. Mm-hmm. You're going to help a little girl one day who wants to be a police officer. And when she feels like she can't because of the corruption, she's going to look at you and say, but she molded me. You don't think that police department is going to think twice now before they ever mess with another female African American, or a female in general, or African American in general, or a minority in general? Mm-hmm. They're going to think twice now. Oh, trust me, I gave them hell.
Yeah.
I gave them a fight. I know they had some sleepless nights.
Yeah, definitely.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's, to me, that's the win right there. That was the win right there.
Yeah.
Even if I appeal and I don't win again, I won.
Yeah.
Because I woke up and I stood against that police department. I stood up against a government entity. I stood up against people in power.
Yeah.
That was the win. I don't need the money. Trust, I don't need the money. Money comes and goes. Mm-hmm. And some money is the root of evilness. I don't need the money. I just want to make sure you guys know that the message was loud and you received it.
And you think about the future lives that you're going to save, truly,
yeah.
Because I think what people don't understand is that people take it to the extreme. People take their own lives, take other lives, and it causes catastrophic injuries to them and to others. And when we don't talk and we don't share our experience, it's for nothing. And there was something that I saw on Instagram where it's God turns our messes into messages. And it's so true, because like he doesn't waste our tears. He doesn't waste our pain. He turns it into a story for somebody else to benefit from. And it is so true. Yeah, things can go so sideways in court, like you said. This judge dismissed it and you might lose the appeal. But your dad is so right. And, you know, when Tawny was on here, she said something very profound, and it was something along the lines of, how lucky are we to have been chosen to suffer? Because God entrusts us with the faith, knowing that we're never going to turn from him, right?
Right.
And when she said that, it just kind of hit me, looking at things differently. Like, you're right. I mean, how many people can he give suffering to, and they don't end up like us? They don't end up wanting to share and make a difference for the greater good. Because that's our purpose of suffering.
Yeah.
Is to bring people closer to God and not let people go through what we went through.
Exactly.
It's like, we're going to prevent this from you. Just like Jesus dying on the cross. He didn't want us to suffer like he did. He took that suffering for us and for our sins. So we don't have to suffer that. And I'm using it in like a modern day analogy of like, we had to suffer all this so other people don't have to suffer.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm never going to compare our suffering to Jesus Christ. Yeah. But it is a form of suffering that we go through to make a difference in other people's lives. And that's an important message. And I do feel thankful that God entrusted people like us to do that.
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
And it's like, and now look, like we both want to be lawyers, and we're going to be able to help people in a different way now.
Well, my boyfriend said, like, maybe this was the win. Maybe the win was for you to realize your avenue and your path is different. Like, now you actually can go after what you truly are supposed to be, which is an attorney. You're maybe supposed to help other officers and fight for other officers, because now you have seen and experienced both sides. You will know what it is on the law enforcement side, and you will know what it is on the attorney side. And my boyfriend said, like, maybe this was what the win was about. Yeah. Was to bring clarity and to go after what you're truly supposed to be, which is an attorney.
Yeah. Oh, amen to that. I would be afraid to go against you as an attorney. That's for sure.
Oh, girl. It's funny because my sergeant at the department I work at now, he's seen me interview people. And he's like, I don't know what it is, but like, as soon as you start talking to them, they just, whoa. And he's like, he'll look at me, he'll be like, you're scary. It's good. He'll give me this look like, you're scary.
Yeah, that's right. Don't mess with me. No. Dude, because God's on my side. That's why I'm scary.
And if you take me there, like, baby.
Be ready. Be ready.
Yeah.
What was one thing that you took from your suffering that helped you get back to normal? Like, you know, because you said like you were going through it financially and just questioning things, but something like got you back focused on God or on the recovery path, or I'm going to fight instead of just crawl up in a hole and die.
Right. Like you said, having a good support system. That's what's key to all this. And even if you don't have it, you know, there are resources out there. There's counseling out there. I was seeing 2 counselors. I was seeing one through the law enforcement that Pasadena had, and then I was seeing one through my primary doctor. There are resources out there. And then another thing was just like, I started reading, I started listening, I started learning. There was another podcast, Wild Chaos. I don't know if you're familiar with that podcast.
I'll check it out.
There was an officer that went on there. I think he was in Idaho. He was an officer in Idaho, and he talked about his experience, how he went from one department, superior, you know, bad officer, just getting stuff done, and everybody wanted to work with him, to when he moved. I think his wife took another job. He moved to another department, and he was starting to just get written up and all this stuff. And he said it was like hell. Like, it was like hell. And I remember reading a comment on there, and it said, you know, you have to watch out for the suspects coming for you, shooting at you, injuring you from the front, and then your department from the back.
Yes. Yes.
And so as I'm on admin leave, I'm like listening and reading all these comments and stuff under other people who've shared their experiences. And I was just like, you know what? I need to find like a peer support group. And I remember with all these articles coming out, other women were like reaching out to me like, hey, you know, you're not alone. This happened to me. And I started making friends out of this stuff, and I'm just blown away. And I'm like, oh my gosh, wait, so it's not just me.
Yep.
It's not just me.
Because you genuinely think it is just you when you're going through it. It's like, I am the bad guy here.
Yeah.
Like, I am the bad apple. I'm doing something wrong. I'm alone on this.
Right.
But then you start to like explore outside of the world and or outside of your, you know, your house and your department. And it's like, oh, this happens all the time in all departments. It's not just me.
It's almost like they have a wheel that they're going to spin, and they have people's names on it. And whenever it lands on, that's who they're going to mess with.
Yep. It is true.
It's like spin the wheel.
It's like that whole comment about like you got to watch your department from the back is 100% true, because it's like for example, in mine, every time somebody hears my story, they're like, the first question is, who did you piss off? Every single time. And I said, a lot of people. I don't know specifically who. I can guess, but I don't have proof of exactly who. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like,
But sometimes you don't.
You don't.
Sometimes it's your existence.
Yes. But it's like, how sad that we have to watch our backs and say like, oh gosh, please don't let me piss off the wrong person, because now I'm going to lose everything.
So when I was at Pasadena and I had first started field training, I remember this one officer had said, I walked in the little training room, because they had a separate room for report writing, and then if you were on training, you're in a different room. And I just walked in and I said, hi, sir. Like the way I just said, hi, sir. He's like, oh my God, your command presence. And I'm like, all I said was, hi, sir. And he was like, woo, you have command presence.
Yeah. You can feel it.
And now that I think back of things, I'm like, that's what the issue was. It was the way I carried myself. I had command presence. I had confidence. They don't like that.
They do not like that.
They don't like that. You can't be like that. You have to be like a yes man. Like,
it's funny because that is the common denominator that I see, because like you, I've had so many connections through this, made great friends through it, like through a trauma bond, like I said. Like, that's what we call it now, trauma bonding.
Right.
But it's true, like the common denominator is a strong, beautiful woman, like every single time. Like, and I'm not saying, again, like, I'm not trying to be just women go through it. Men go through it also.
Too, right.
Because, like, strong men that don't back down also go through it.
Yeah.
But the common denominator from the women that I've spoken to has been strong, beautiful, confident women. And they don't like that.
No.
It is so absurd to me, where it's just like, don't you want that on the job?
Right.
Don't you want educated people that are going to have the common sense, the composure to make good, sound decisions and lead people?
Like we said earlier, you either are confident, command presence, know what you're doing, or you get talked about for being too soft, or you're too weak, or you're just a typical female in law enforcement that's just here to freaking do pat downs and searches on females.
Yep.
There's no in between with us.
There is none.
You can be out there 10-8, hooking and booking. They're going to find fault with that. You're too aggressive. You have an attitude. or the way you talk to this person. Okay, well then I can be doing nothing and you're gonna talk about me for doing that.
And you wonder why, but like this is all this animosity going through. So I never forget when I was preparing for my orals for detective and sergeant and stuff. And one of the common questions is always, how do you handle conflict, right? They ask some kind of conflict question.
Yeah.
And always the go-to answer that like people would tell you, like, your job is conflict resolution as a police officer. And so they give you the conflict between a coworker. And so my answer was always something along the lines of, well, it's important to know how to handle conflict with each other, because if you can't handle conflict between people that have similar training, experience, and beliefs, how are you going to handle conflict with somebody that thinks differently from you? And so that was like a standard question, a standard answer, and because it's the truth. How can you handle conflict with people that don't agree with you? But then as like in reality, these people that you have common values and common training and experience with are the ones that is hardest to resolve conflict with. Like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean?
It's the ego.
It's the ego.
I've never seen an experience the way, and I'm not just saying men, but we know we're in a predominantly male dominant career. I mean, they will go as far as like making sure, you know, this person shouldn't be on SWAT. They can't even do a push. Like, it's just like the pettiness and cattiness. And it's just like, you guys will go so far as tearing each other down.
Yes. And you wonder, that's like what I was getting at is like, then you wonder why people not in the department, the community starts to have this bad look at police officers, right? It's like, you guys are fighting amongst each other. How am I going to trust you? Kind of thing. And it's like, what? Like, why is this a goal here? Like, why should we keep conflicting between each other? We're supposed to be the thin blue line of family and protect each other, have each other's back. But instead you're sitting there like, how can I stab this person in the back? How can I hurt this person? How can I get rid of this person? Because my philosophy is that it's a me job now. It's no longer that job that everybody aspired to be in, you know, like the LAPD of the 90s and early 2000s. I mean, you see how great they were, like all the agencies. You saw this brotherhood. You hear people's stories about how close they were. And, you know, like with LAPD, they used to have 8-hour shifts. And they were like, we were so close because we saw each other. And just hearing these stories. You were
at work more than you were at home.
Yeah. And it was like, but it was so awesome to hear like the old timers, like their stories and how well they got along and the camaraderie. And I'm like, that's unrecognizable today. There is no
Everyone's
camaraderie.
for themselves.
And it's just so sad.
Everyone's for them. It's all about where I can benefit and get my promotion, and that's all that matters.
I know. And it's so sad that we're victims of that. And that's what I think this whole thing is like, we're a victim of the system. Because we didn't meet the agenda of somebody trying to promote what it is.
Up against the good old boys. We didn't want to be a part of the good old boys club. We don't need to be a part of the good old boys club. I never needed to fit in. I never needed to be
You wanted to be Officer Crutchfield.
Yeah. I didn't need to be a follower. I'm a leader. I'm a leader by example. I'm a leader by God.
Yep.
He chose me to lead.
Yes,
he gave me the platform to lead.
Yes. And look at you are.
Yeah.
You don't need
So I don't need to be a part of the good old boys.
No, you don't.
But I won't let you run over me.
Absolutely not. I love that. Well, what advice would you give to somebody that's in the middle of it? Like, they're just got their admin leave, like they've been placed on admin leave and they don't know what's going to happen. What advice would you give somebody?
Stay in the fight. Get right with your faith. Whoever you believe in, get right with your faith. Have a backup plan. Because you just don't know. You don't know who's behind what. You don't know whose feathers you ruffled. So just have a backup plan. A guy reached out to me yesterday, actually, and told me his story at a California police department. And he told me that there was concrete evidence that he didn't do something. Concrete evidence he didn't do something. And they still refused to give him his position back in a special assignment.
Wow.
And so it's like, you got to have a backup plan. You have to have a backup plan. Start thinking about what's your identity outside of law enforcement. Because that's another curveball, is when, like when you don't get your job back. What is your identity outside of this? It's not everything.
No.
It's
You
not
think
everything.
it is, though, in the moment you think
You
it is.
think it is, but it's not. You know, like I mentioned, that officer who had to medically retire, he woke up one day just paralyzed, and that was it. The day before, he was walking and had to stop the job.
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine.
You know?
And just like that.
And just like that, it's gone. It's done. The way things are nowadays and the way departments operate, you don't know. You got to work every shift like it's your last. Because you don't know what complaint's going to come in. That they'll say, that's it. You know, you messed with the blah, blah, blah's daughter. Or you rubbed this person the wrong way. Or, you know, you talked a certain way to blah, blah, blah's son. So now we have to let you go. Because, you know, perception is everything. And we got to play politics and have a backup plan.
Yeah.
But please find an identity outside of law enforcement.
Yes.
I was afraid to walk away. I'm like, I worked hard and I went through training and look at everything I went through to get, you know, an opportunity to represent and have a badge and be able to carry. And it's just like, but that's not everything. That's not everything. That's not
who you are.
Yeah. I was Taisyn Crutchfield before I was a police officer, and I'm going to be Taisyn Crutchfield after a police officer.
I think that's a really good piece of advice to give people.
Yeah.
I think it's good advice for people that are not going through it, just police officers in general, because you do get caught up in that being your identity. And then, like you said, when it's taken away, it's like, now what? Like,
Yeah.
And I personally did go through that.
Yeah.
I didn't
know.
have a backup plan.
I
I was
know.
6 months pregnant when I was relieved of duty. I couldn't go get a job.
What
am I
backup plan
supposed to
do you
do?
have?
And so it's like but I mean, I fell hard, you know, it was 12 years on the job. It was a long time. So being like in your
that starts to form who you are.
Right. And so I think it's like, I almost see this, obviously, like I know you see it as a blessing also, all this stuff, because you get to use this as your message, but it also preserved who you are, and you didn't get like destroyed and damaged by the system, because who knows if you would have stayed there and been there for 20 years, who knows what you would have thought. I mean, you are a strong person.
You know what? You say that, and I'm going to say this story real quick. A few weeks ago, they had a shooting, Pasadena PD. And one of the officers got shot by a suspect. They killed the suspect, but he actually got shot. And I remember looking at the news and watching it, because no one deserves to get shot. No one deserves to die. I would never wish death upon anyone or anything bad happening to that capacity to anyone. And I remember I kneeled down and I said, thank you, God. Because the same exact shift, the same exact time, the same exact beat, in the same exact area that he was patrolling was my shift.
That is insane.
I would have been the one responding to that call.
That's all God.
Sometimes it's not about what destroyed you, but what God did to save you. And I told my boyfriend, I said, that would have been me had I stayed. Maybe this is why it happened. Because the devil was coming to visit Pasadena, and he came a few weeks ago. And he made sure I wasn't there. That was my shift.
It's 100% God. He wrapped you in his arms and said, you will not be there anymore. I'm going to save your life.
And I hate it for this officer. I know the officer, you know, and you know, it's awful. It's awful.
Is he okay?
He's okay.
Thank God.
Thank God. And I literally, you know, I prayed with my boyfriend, because my boyfriend's still employed there. I just, you know, it's crazy how a department can do you so wrong, but you'll turn around and you'll pray for them. You'll turn around, you'll pray for them, you'll pray for healing, you'll pray for their safety, for them to come out, and they have done you wrong. I was at work when this happened, when I found out, and I sat there and I prayed. I prayed for the same department that prayed on my downfall. that preyed on me losing my case, that preyed on me getting out of here, maybe still praying bad on me, but I sat there and I prayed for this officer, and I said, he's gonna make it. I told my friend, he's gonna be fine, he's gonna make it. I already talked to God about it. I had a conversation with him. He's gonna be fine. But it's just the simple fact that what destroyed you may have just saved you.
Absolutely. What a powerful message that is, and what a testament to your character and your faith in God, because I don't know how many people could have prayed for the department that wished your demise, and you did that very thing. I hope they're watching this. I really do. Like, I do hope they see that, because that's a testament to who you are as a person. Like, they missed out on an incredible human being and officer, and now you get to go do that with a better agency.
Yeah.
And this message is going to be so beneficial for countless people that are going to tell you that you've changed their lives, and people that you don't know that you're going to change their lives. So I am so grateful for sharing your story. I'm so sorry for what you've been through, but also, I mean, I feel like honored to know you, because your strength is very admirable, and I mean, I'm just blown away. I really am, and I'm so grateful for the message that you're giving to so many people. You're going to do so many great things, and I hope I never go against you one day in court. Girl. So we'll be on the same team.
Right?
We'll be on the same team.
We're going to the same firm, you know?
Yes, we'll start one.
Yes. I love that.
Well, the lawyer that I work for, Nicole Castronovo, she is the reason that I had faith in lawyers again, because she's just incredible and like cares about people like no attorney I've ever seen. She cares about it more than you do. Like, I always say, like, nobody cares about your case as much as you do. Nicole cares about it more than you do. I mean, when I lost my board last week, I didn't cry. I was like, I knew this was going to happen. Whatever.
Yeah.
Nicole said for 2 days, she's like, I couldn't stop crying for 2 days. Like, I feel like I failed you. And I was like, absolutely not, Nicole. Like, you are the best attorney. You did you did the best you could with the shitty hand that you were dealt with. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, the fact that you even cared enough about me
to
do this.
Exactly.
And so she always jokes, like, we're the fired Avengers. Yeah. She's like, we're the fired Avengers. Like, we're just going to go and avenge everybody. Like, we all got fired, it kicked to the curb, but she's like, you know, she's an obviously all-woman law firm, and she's like, I want to get these like strong, powerful women. So we'll just be under one umbrella.
Yes,
Nicole
exactly.
One day.
Exactly.
This is my job interview, Nicole.
Right. I'll submit my resume after.
Yes, we're good. Well, thank you, Taisyn. It was such a pleasure and a great conversation, and I wish you nothing but the best in the future.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Sisters in blue always.
Always, always. All right. Do you have to do the clap? There you go.